We're recording. Did we get the buzz out?
I believe so, yes. The buzz was out.
All right, ready? Oh, that sucked.
Wow, that was the worst clap.
Hang on.
There it
There
is.
Yeah, baby.
Welcome, everyone, to another episode of Midnight Movie Distillery. I am one of your hosts, Logan Lynch.
I'm another one of your hosts, Warwick Price.
And you know who I am, so... All right, Lon Black. Today,
You don't know who you are.
this is our year in review.
Yeah.
What are we going to do?
So basically what we're going to do is...
Just go through every single movie that we've gone through. None of these bottles have anything to do with it.
We're going to review each one again. And we're going to
This is called a marathon, people.
We're going to spend
Hunker down,
particularly
people.
a long time
Yeah.
with Skin and Rake.
You know, our podcasts are literally too short. People have been asking to do
Yeah, they
longer
want
format.
more.
So in my hand, I have a piece of paper signed by the Chancellor of Germany. Sorry.
In the comments, if you know what movie that's from.
It's called The Real World. Anyway, so as we put in the comments of all the podcasts and that we show, we actually keep a running scorecard of all of the movies and bourbons and whiskeys and everything
Lots of numbers on
that we review. With some cool, this is the cool stuff for all you data geeks out there.
And this is freely available.
I have some pretty graphs as well. Ooh. Anyway,
Look at this graph. Sorry.
so what we're gonna do today is we're gonna trust me. We're actually not gonna go through every single movie, but what we are gonna do is we're gonna go through like kind of our top 2 or 3 movies, our bottom 2 or 3 movies, top 2 or 3 bourbons, and bottom 2 or 3 bourbons. And with the bourbons, this represents about 80% of everything that we have drank. And as you can see...
If that. Maybe less than that.
Yeah, probably less than that.
Because we finished a few bottles.
A few bottles.
We didn't bring all the bottles.
That's true.
I don't know if they were even worth bringing some of them, but...
Well, that's the point. I mean, Zachariah Harris sure made the fucking table,
Well,
didn't it?
well,
that's because I particularly...
So bad it's good.
I particularly brought that one just so that we could really try it again to see whether it
Why?
really was
Why?
as
You
bad
never
as
know.
we remember.
You never
Why?
know.
So anyway...
And we are not in our normal location.
we are not.
It is the end of year, so we are shooting this one from the original location that this whole thing started.
Yes, if you watched
We've come full circle.
our pseudo Christmas episode, we gave a little bit of a explanation.
It's our holiday
episode. We gave a little bit of explanation. Where we are right now is Lon's bar. His actual bar is actually not as in bar as in like sheep, but his actual bar.
Wow.
We've already been
My
drinking.
home
We've
bar.
already been drinking.
My
Yeah, you
home.
can kind of see the bar in the right over.
It's
Lon's
my
shoulder.
home
You can
bar.
kind of see it over there somewhere. And that's where we started this whole thing. We started talking incessantly about horror movies and
Bantering
and bantering back and forth. And Lon started teaching us about bourbons and whiskeys and cool stuff like that. And we're like, hey, this would be make a really cool
We should have been
podcast.
recording back then.
Yeah, absolutely.
wonder if
It would be worth a fortune now.
Yeah.
Oh my gosh.
Right.
For us 67 subscribers.
60. I thought we only had 66.
Oh, you're right. Sorry.
Did we get
No,
one
we'll
last
get one
week?
more. I
I'm
don't
just,
care.
I'm
Optimistic.
wishful thinking.
Yeah, okay.
Never know. Everyone counts.
So in this bar, there is no way we can showcase all the different parts of my bar. It's not particularly huge, but it's got things in every nook and corner. We do have Carl in the corner. Carl's my 8-foot demon troll. He has been a staple with me since, I would say he's been around for about 30 years, maybe 20 years.
I think we found Lon's
25.
kink.
Yeah, yeah. He's
saying.
one of the first Halloween decorations, well, epic Halloween decorations I ever bought. But since then, the collection's grown, and that's why we're all here, because we are all fans of horror, and now we're all fans of bourbon.
Yeah, we're
Yes.
alcoholics.
And it has nothing to do with the fact that our normal location looks like a pit at the moment, and there really isn't room for us. And
We've
actually,
been kicked out, sort of.
And truthfully, it's because
Truthishly.
truthfully, Lon is the one that takes home most of these whiskeys, and he's like, I have no more room.
It's absolutely true.
In my bar for any more whiskeys, and I want to bring some of my own whiskeys in. So you guys need to come over and try
finish them off
and finish some of these off. I don't know that we'll be finishing off many of them. But
no,
never
I don't
know.
think we can. But if nothing else, we can revisit a few of them. I hate to toss out even the disgusting ones like this one.
Adhams.
Yeah, Adnams.
Adnams.
The
As if I
British
recognize it from the
attempt at
back.
bourbon or whiskey.
Yes.
Yeah, because the blue. But I hate to throw out anything, so I keep them anyway. And honestly, some of the good ones we'd finished off.
Yes.
The bourbon barrel whiskey we finished off at the live show, right? And
Yeah.
some of the other ones, like even what was Long Branch? When that I finished it off eventually, or friends and came over and they got finished off. There's still some champions in this batch right in front of us, though.
Yes.
Some epic champions.
Oh yeah.
So
Okay. So
let's.
How do we want to start?
I
this?
think we should start pouring by each one of us should, from this sampling, what would you choose? And starting with Logan, what would you choose out of this batch?
Well,
If I had
you
to
could turn
choose-
some labels around if you want to
No,
look at
I
labels.
think I've already got.
Really? You already
my
know?
eye on something.
Did you see some of these over here? We got.
Oh, I did.
Yeah, we've got. Oh, that's a good
Port
one.
Charlotte's.
Yeah, Port Charlotte was
I think
awesome.
I think my guy is going to be dead center.
Oh, you want this? Let me guess. This, the origin.
Oh, the origin.
There you go. Talk a little bit about it.
So-
what do you remember about it?
I remember getting very drunk.
Well, all right. You did. That was probably one of your more shit-faced
No,
episodes.
the good news is I did have a DD for this one, but
You did, but the
this
point
was a live
is-
show, if I remember correctly.
Yeah, it was one of the live shows. Yeah.
Was it?
Yeah, it was the same one we
had-
killed off the beer barrel
Yeah,
bourbon.
Oh yeah.
So
This is Tucker and Dale.
Yeah, yeah.
This is
So
for
this
Tucker and
was
Dale.
this was definitely one that I just remember. I had never had anything like it, and at that point in time, I just was floored by it and was very happy with it. I don't even remember what rating I got. You're gonna
Let's hear it.
Crunch the number on that one.
Our
I want to
statistician.
say if I could guess, I probably gave it a 4.
You gave that a 4.5.
Yeah.
And you gave the regular non-origin one a 4.
Yeah. Okay. See, kind of remember something from that.
Okay, so if I'm going to go, we don't have the backbone.
Yes, it's right
We
here.
do?
Yep.
Oh,
Then I will have the backbone.
There
look
you
at
go.
that.
I forgot my nipple glass.
Oh, I forgot all of our
I'll
glasses.
get it. I've got my glass. Nobody's got a glass but me.
No,
No.
I'm drinking straight out the bottle.
guys are-
I'm just kidding.
Thank
Dr.
you.
Shane. Oh, actually, you want to grab my water while you're here?
Oh yeah.
Oh, wait, no, I got it.
I
Never
got
mind.
fresh
I got
waters. Who needs a fresh one?
it. I got my water.
I got one. Oh my god, it's still.
You got a water?
Yeah.
Is there stuff still in there?
Oh my god.
I think I should probably rinse
Yes.
out just to be on the safe side.
Okay. So I should say, I gave this a 3.
That's your highest score?
No, I think that's just one he wants to revisit.
Yeah. So actually, it's funny. So my highest score. Oh, actually, you know what? No, I'll change this because I saw it up here. We have a peat monster up here, right?
Peat Monster's right over here.
Monster.
I gave this a 4.1.
There you go.
Nice.
Is that your highest?
That is my highest.
Just out of curiosity, what was Logan's highest rated bourbon?
That will be this 4.5.
Was it? Okay.
That was probably
Wow.
a close second.
Yeah. You were a. Oh my god, I already forgot it. Peat monster. You were a 3.5.
Oh, because this wasn't the cast strength that we had.
I forgot some of these other bottles over here that
Oh, look at this.
we were supposed to add as
Oh, dear
well.
God. That is a lot of alcohol.
Yeah. Right.
You've already made your choice.
Honestly, that checks to me because you guys actually picked the two that you rated the highest.
Right.
I don't remember which one I rated the highest.
Okay.
Don't tell me yet.
Okay.
Ooh, he's gonna
Find
guess.
it, but don't tell me yet because I know which one I have a taste for. And I'm going to pick the one I have a taste for.
Okay.
Few Serial Killer. This is the one that was made with that same Japanese, not virus. I keep going with virus. No.
No, it was rice, wasn't it?
Well, no, it eats the rice. It's a
Fungus.
enzyme. that eats it and it molds it.
Yeah.
And then they take what's left and they make soy sauce with it. They make miso with it. There's a lot of things that it's in because it's Japanese process to eat the grain. So they use it on this to eat the grain. That's why it's called serial killer.
So I will tell you.
Yeah.
This is by far not your highest rated.
Okay.
Whiskey.
Can I guess? I'm assuming that was for the house that Jack built.
That was for Itchy the Killer.
Itchy the Killer, yeah. Because it was also Japanese tie-in because it had the Japanese process.
So you only rated this a 3.1.
This one a 3.1?
Yeah.
Okay.
You bitch.
I got a taste for it.
So
okay.
But you know what you rated the highest?
Hold on. Smoke Monster.
Yeah.
Peat Monster.
Peat Monster.
Close enough.
Peat Monster.
Yeah. Yeah. This is you rated this a 4.2.
Yep. Yeah.
And then I mean you actually have lots that are higher than that one.
Sure. I just have a taste for it.
Well, good. Well, let's
To each his own.
let's taste away.
I may switch. I can switch, can't I?
You can.
Oh, and I will be.
Yeah. Oh.
Oh yeah. We should probably do each.
Oh.
Each one of us do our own little.
Yeah, but see, smell that.
Mine goes boom.
That's a good smell.
Try this again. No, this may have been. Actually, it wasn't too long ago.
There's something about it, though, that's just got a little bit of crave to it.
Smell that.
Oh, motherfucker. Now I want that.
I get smoke. I get a lot of
Oh my
smoke.
God.
Now I want that.
Smell my finger.
Yeah.
I get the... Yeah, see, that's so nice and sweet
This
and
is
kind of...
very sweet
Yeah.
That's probably why.
Well, shit, now I kind of want peat moss.
Hey, you can't. You're not tied down to one. This
Yeah,
is just
I'm going to
first.
do a light pour and I'll switch. I'll do a light pour.
I thought I did a light pour, but apparently I did.
Oh, that is not a light pour, you alky. There we go.
So I guess do we want to talk about the movies that we were kind of?
Well,
Or do we wanna
yeah,
go
I
with-
think what we
or
need...
do we want to just say, okay, this was our bourbons, but then our highest rated movies, maybe.
Yeah.
Kind of go that route.
Well,
Definitely.
So one,
whilst we drink.
it's called the English language.
Yeah. Well, I don't know.
So again,
You guys have been around longer.
So again, yours
that's
was
good.
Tucker and Dale versus Evil.
Mm-hmm.
Peat Monster was for Pumpkinhead,
Because it was a
Love that
monster.
movie.
Perfect.
Yep. One of my favorites.
Love that.
and Serial Killer was for Itchy Killer. We already said that.
Sure.
Okay, so do we want to know collectively what our favorite movie was?
If you've got
Ooh.
that number, that would be great.
We should make a guess on this. I think we should take... Right?
Okay.
Except War, because he knows what it is.
Yeah. A movie that we all
Boy,
three
I
agreed
gotta,
on.
you know, one of the problems is I gotta remember all the movies we
Okay,
fucking
so
reviewed.
So do you want me to? I'll run through the list of all the movies we reviewed.
Yeah, that might
Sure.
help.
That'd
And
be
for,
good.
and,
Okay.
and for
'Cause I could
anyone
do it
that
online,
this is
but-
for some
okay.
reason the first movie that you're watching, these are all the movies that you can go back and get our review for.
I have a prediction that we could get a lot of new fans out of this movie because this one, when we review everything we've tried, they're gonna say, what all have they tried? And they're gonna look at all the bourbons and listen to all the movies, and then they'll go back and watch some of those episodes if they like those movies or
That
like
would be
those bourbons.
awesome.
But I have a feeling this is a good introduction to what we're all about.
Absolutely.
All right, so let's hear the
Okay,
list.
so list of movies
Let's hear it.
in order: Pontypool,
Love it.
Skinamarink.
Hated it.
What was-
Wow, did we do those back to back?
No.
Because Jesus Christ.
Pontypool was back when we were only doing one.
One episode.
Okay.
And if you remember, it was like a kind of a disaster episode because we had so many.
Our audio and video,
technical
that's
issues.
true.
I think that took us like 2 or 3 times.
Yeah,
I
we
think
should.
we literally recorded the hour episode like at least twice.
Yeah,
Something
yeah. That was when we were doing 3 hours to get one episode. Now it's 4 hours to get 3.
Oh, that's right.
episodes.
Because actually, the first episode I think we split in 2.
We did. Pontypool
think
was
so.
a double episode.
Yep.
Holy crap!
Oh my god.
Wow, we were so bad. Sorry,
Okay,
people.
So
Sorry.
episode 2 was Skinamarink. Then we did Serbian film.
Interesting movie.
First live event, Tucker and Dale versus Evil.
Great show.
Love it.
Great show.
Except for Kyle. You're an asshole.
Fuck
Kyle.
you, Kyle.
Fuck you, Kyle.
The Dead and Breakfast.
Great movie.
Shaun of the Dead.
Also great movie.
Knock at the Cabin.
Good movie.
Okay.
Scream 6.
Good movie.
Texas Chainsaw Massacre: The New Generation.
Nobody says anything. Keep going.
Halloween 3, Season of the Witch.
Okay.
Fantastic movie. The Evil Dead, which I think was the other live event that we did, right?
Yeah, that was another
That
one.
that was the last live event that we did.
God,
Yeah.
really?
We apologize, people.
Holy shit!
It's been a while.
That was like September, though. Probably.
I don't know.
That would make it
Maybe
over a year ago.
August.
No.
Well, if it was September,
It's only.
not over a year ago.
We haven't even done it.
Do you know how
3 months
do you know
ago.
how calendars
I was thinking
12
September of
months in a
last
year.
year. How long we been doing this podcast?
It feels like it's only.
I
It's
think-
less than a year.
I think,
Less
yeah,
than a
less than a
year?
year because
I think February is our first. We were testing stuff in January. I know that much, but we didn't actually release anything until I think
Okay.
February.
All right. I'll take your word for it. Lion sacks of shit.
the Night of the Living Dead,
Mm-hmm.
Train to Busan, Winnie the Pooh, Blood and Honey, Red Riding Hood,
Yeah, I like that one.
Tokyo Gore Police.
Loved it.
No, there's only one thing about Red Riding Hood that was good.
The actress.
Yes.
Yeah.
Itchy the Killer,
Yeah, love that.
Ready or Not, The Hunt.
The Hunt was awesome.
Yeah.
That was
Ready or
great.
Not wasn't bad.
No, I thought it was good too.
The
That was
House-
really good. We all rated it pretty highly.
Yeah.
It was a very
we
good
did.
movie.
We did. Some higher than others. The House That Jack Built,
Yeah.
The
crazy,
Clowfish Killer,
crazy.
Stitches,
Loved it.
Terrifier,
Loved it.
Candy Corn,
It was okay.
Pumpkinhead,
Loved it.
Thanksgiving, loved it. No, sorry. We actually created a new rating scale.
It's
but,
not really a movie.
for
I think
Thanksgiving.
it's more like a project, a school project.
And then Five Nights at Freddy's.
Okay.
Okay. So, which movie do you think collectively the three of us rated the highest?
Evil Dead 2.
Was it Evil Dead 2? I thought it was just Evil Dead.
Did we do Evil Dead? We did the
You just
original.
We did
yeah,
the
we
original.
didn't do
Evil Dead.
2.
You're right. So
I'm
maybe
gonna
that
say
was
I was
going to
go with Evil Dead as well.
Yeah, I'll still say Evil Dead 2.
You
Also.
would be incorrect.
The next guess.
Although that was tied to second place.
Okay. If I had to guess next one, I was gonna go Train to Busan, but
No,
I don't
you know
think
what?
so.
I think The Hunt might have been.
I was
up
gonna
there.
go Hunt.
Yeah,
let's
Train
go Hunt.
to Busan would have been better, but
Yeah, I
he
didn't.
rated it
I
way
didn't think
down.
it was that good.
Let's say the Hunt.
It is not The Hunt, and The Hunt is actually way down on the list.
Really?
Not way down, but like certainly
Much further than
in,
it should be.
in
Probably.
the lower top tens.
We were being assholes.
Okay, so it's got to be either.
I wish we were doing this live. because
Shaun of the Dead, or it
I'm
could
gonna
be
say Shaun of the Dead.
it could be Pumpkinhead. I think I rated Pumpkinhead my highest rating.
I'm gonna say Shaun of the Dead.
Shaun of the Dead is
There
the
you
correct
go.
answer.
Okay,
And Pumpkinhead was the other 4.1.
there you go.
Nice, okay.
There you go. So we had them both. They were
Yeah.
all correct.
So Shaun of the Dead, you did 4.1, I
Yeah.
did 4.2, you did 4.3.
Yeah.
Pumpkinhead, you did 4, I did 3.2,
What?
What a dick.
and you did 5.
You're fucking fired.
Okay,
Step into my office.
Unbelievable.
so
I hate you now.
I gave all my reasons.
Well, I don't remember them. Do you?
I do. It was basically.
No, shut up. All right. So next thing is.
Should we do the lowest rated movie?
Oh,
That should be pretty
that's
easy.
easy. If anybody's watching the show, quick, say it. Starts with a skinema and ends with a rink.
You would be incorrect.
That's not our lowest?
No.
Oh, no. I'm sorry. Thanksgiving.
Right.
I was gonna say thanks,
Because this guy
Because
created his own
I-
rating scale
It was so bad.
and went a 0.1,
Wow.
which took down your 2.4 and my 1.4.
What was my 2.4? That was probably.
Yeah, why did you give it a 2.4?
I gave it-
Because you thought it was
You
a
thought it
good
was funny.
story.
You thought it was funny.
The Skinamarink?
Yeah,
No,
no.
Thanksgiving.
Oh,
Thanksgiving.
Thanksgiving. Yes, Thanksgiving. I thought you meant I gave 2.4 to Skinamarink.
No, I don't think anybody
You
gave
did
it
give
more
it
than
2.3, I might add.
To Skinamarink?
We gave it a 1.
Yeah, because we're smart.
I think I was being extra nice on that one.
You were trying, again, I think we've talked about this. You were trying to find a saving grace in the movie.
tried.
Because you had to watch it twice. I believe you watched it twice.
Yeah.
So you had to say something good about it. Otherwise, people
Not
look
only
at
did
you
I
like
watch
you're an
that
idiot.
twice, but I also watched the original, which is another 39 minutes.
What is what?
Because
why,
I was trying so hard. So hard.
Then you didn't have to give it that kind of a rating.
Well,
oh my God.
you know,
So
mistakes
Okay.
were made.
So the lowest rated was Thanksgiving.
Yep.
Followed by...
We're still talking about it. He's getting mileage off of that fucking badass movie. Terrible movie.
And then... Well, where do we go next? Oh, next lowest.
Ooh, so third.
Third lowest.
For lowest.
Is actually Texas Chainsaw Massacre: The New Generation.
Oh yeah, that was bad.
At a 1.9. Now you rated it. Now that was when we had Mike.
I was gonna say, I didn't think it was bad.
And I think that was your let's get some controversy going so we can have some discussion.
Did you say controversy?
Yeah,
I did say controversy. As opposed to what word?
Controversy.
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 Okay, controversy.
There's always a barrier because he doesn't speak English.
Yeah.
He
speaks his own.
You gave it a
English.
3.2.
Mm-hmm.
I gave it a 1.
Oh I gave it like 2.5.
You gave it 1.2.
I love that movie because Matthew McConaughey, right? Matthew McConaughey and Renee Zellweger. Those two were adorable in that movie.
Right,
absolutely adorable.
How would be adorable in a TCM movie?
But I will admit...
What are you talking about? That's the point. That was the whole upside down.
I will admit, she was adorable.
Like she was in her... Like that age
pre-prime.
Range,
that was her first movie.
Age range for
that was
her
her
was
first
definitely
movie.
Her cutest point. Like when she just started doing the whole Bridget Jones Diary, she just became
because she gained weight and she looked.
Not so much she gained weight, but
wow,
she
wow,
just,
way to body stereotype her. I don't know.
I just didn't think she was attractive.
No, what didn't matter? She's attractive. She was cute. She was adorable. The acting was wonderful. She was a great actress in that. And Matthew McConaughey nailed that role. I think he nailed the role. And the fight scenes.
As a gimp?
The fight, yeah. And the fight scenes in that one, when they burned that one girl and she was banging against the wall trying to get... That was... she had the action. When Leatherface was picking her up and trying to carry her in from the freezer, she's kicking and screaming. Man, he almost fell over like 4 or 5 times because she was so violent.
So do you think when they're doing the script for Leatherface, does it literally just say like...
Wow. On that note,
I don't know what to say to that.
What's next on our top or bottom rather? 2.5. Let's get a 2. We have a 2.0. Wow, we gave Red Riding Hood.
Yeah.
A 2.0.
Yeah, I rated it higher than you guys did.
Yeah, I gave it a 2 because I think the only redeeming factor was
Gary Oldman.
No, Gary Oldman was okay in it.
God, why am I blanking on her name?
Oh, the main actress. We suck at our job, or we've had too much of this.
Oh my God,
it's a little of both.
Amanda Seyfried.
Siegfried.
Is it
Seyfried?
Seyfried.
Say it.
Freed.
Yeah. But yeah, so I she was the only redeeming factor. Like,
didn't they have sex in the
Gary
snow?
Oldman was. What?
Oh
yeah.
Fuck yeah. No.
Yeah.
I've already forgotten it.
It was chilly.
That turns you off from the movie? Is them having sex in the snow?
Good. All right. Wow. Sorry.
Okay. Well,
this is a child's show. This is a children's show. What are you doing?
Well, this is a children's
show.
This
is for families.
We're children. Does that count?
No.
I guess it's not for children.
Okay. So we've done like the overall kind of top, because I guess we.
Do you have your favorites?
Well, so this is the whole
not
thing.
From the rating.
Sure.
If you were to just say for now, what do you think was your top favorite? We already kind of did though, right?
Yeah, I mean, I would still rate of all the.
Okay. Wait, I got one. Why don't we try and find something that we think others should watch? What is something out of the movies we've seen that, if you haven't seen it, we suggest, or each person suggests?
Each and every one of the Evil Dead movies.
Okay.
Because they're classics. They're the ones who helped start the entire genre. And I don't mean of horror in general. Horror's been around for millennia, but I think the style of horror. Well, maybe body horror, but really I think that's more of the stylistic, over-the-top comedy horror. Horromedy, if you will. Because really there weren't a lot of comedy horrors before that. Name one.
Could you call it com-horror?
Horromedy. That's a real word.
Horomedy's a little better.
Horromedy. That's the word. Anyway.
Why do I feel like the mermaid's like looking down on me? That's a little weird.
Also, it looks like it's going like...
She's like...
Anybody remember a last episode we had... do you remember in the corner?
Ariel.
Mermaid?
Yeah. Ariel.
Of course. Ariel was in the corner. Ariel is off to the side now, looking at Logan.
She's scaring the shit out of us.
Lovingly.
She's
She's got her hand on her hip.
She's creeping us out.
Yeah, she's kind of trying to look sexy for you.
She did.
If you guys don't know what we're talking about, look at the last episode.
So
So, what would you recommend?
You do Evil Dead. What's your recommendation?
Of a movie that we've done or we haven't
A movie
done?
that we've done.
That we've done.
It can be something like a spin-off or a sequel to one that we've done, I would still
Yeah,
say.
it doesn't have to be right. Because Evil Dead, I said all of them.
I was
I've
just
only seen
using
the original one.
Well, I probably would have to go with Halloween. The original Halloween to me is
We only watched Halloween 3, right? We didn't
Right.
we didn't rate any of the other Halloweens, did we?
no. But
Everybody
No,
does
that's
that.
the point. I agree.
Right,
I agree.
right.
I'm just saying,
But
just kind of checking.
Well, I
it.
was just trying to work out where we're going.
Yeah.
But yeah, so like to me, the original Halloween, like that literally started the Halloween series of. I don't just mean the Halloween.
So the
franchise.
original Halloween movie started the Halloween franchise? That's brilliant. I have no idea how you came up with that. I never thought of
The
that.
Halloween
The insightfulness of that comment
The
is...
Halloween movie was basically the creator of the what's the word I'm looking for?
The holiday
like the
slasher.
holiday slasher
Sure.
movie.
Okay.
And it's like that's what.
Well,
Yes, that's what then said. Oh, that's why then they then came up and said, oh, I know Friday the 13th. Let's do a Friday the 13th movie. Halloween was the originator of
Right.
that,
Well-
that
a few
series.
years later.
they did have already Black Christmas
Yes, they
out
did.
before then, and they've already had a couple of the other ones.
But that wasn't supernatural horror-ish, right? Like Michael Myers.
Is that what you're basing it on?
No.
Supernatural?
Michael Myers
'Cause he wasn't
became
supernatural.
He wasn't
That's right.
supernatural in
He
the first two
became
movies.
Kind of. Well, I mean, think about it. He's been shot 6 times and he gets up and leaves.
Yeah,
Yeah,
but
but-
again, I guess like my point is just simply, I think that was the movie
The catalyst.
that started the and again we were talking about it earlier. It's the first like foray into the kind of the multitude of the slasher movies. Yes, there were many horror movies.
It did help
before.
kick off a slasher style movie
Right.
trend.
Right.
But there were a lot of slasher type movies before that. In fact, Halloween itself got accolades because it was the first Halloween or the first horror movie to do what? This was your trivia.
Oh, God.
Because out of all the slasher movies before that, it was the first slasher movie to show you from the killer's viewpoint.
Perspective, yeah.
POV. Yeah.
So, there were slasher movies before that because they rated it because of that.
You could, oh man.
There was a-
Peeping Tom.
Exactly. That's what I was thinking too. That was technically considered the first one. That's where he was a serial killer that used his camera.
Yeah. No, I remember the movie, but
there was
It's from his perspective, but it's technically through the camera. So
not through the right. It was more like what you saw with the what he was shooting through the camera.
correct.
This was
but
through
still
his actual
technically-
eyes with a mask.
Yeah. Yeah, you're right. It was the first,
But-
and they did literally just put a mask on the front of the camera.
But the point being, there's been other slasher movies before that one. But I agree, it did kick off the slasher craze through the 80s.
Sure.
and obviously everyone, certainly everyone here knows this. It's Halloween was never supposed to be about Michael Myers.
Right.
It was supposed to be about
Well,
Halloween.
it was
Anthology.
not just supposed to be Michael.
Right. Yeah, obviously Michael Myers was the main character in the
first two.
movie. Well, in the first movie, Michael Myers was the main character, but it was written as
The shape.
as a Halloween movie. Halloween 3 was always supposed to be the second movie,
Correct.
but it was because of how
The producers.
how how amazingly successful the original movie was.
Yeah, it's true.
that the only way that Carpenter got to make the movie that he wanted to, Halloween 3, was that if he did a Halloween 2 movie with Michael Myers.
And how'd that work out for him?
Do you think Halloween 3 would have made as much
It
money?
worked out terribly for him.
Well, that's what I mean. Do you think
He made
Halloween
money
3
out of
would
it.
have made as much money if it didn't have the Halloween moniker? If it had just come out as, say, Season of the Witch?
Let me throw in my 2 cents. The problem with that is it was such a poorly made movie, and the storyline was so way out of whack.
It was awesome.
I think it would have generally been a bad movie to
I just
begin
wanna have
with.
sex with a robot
It-
that looks like...
Well, all right, but and that part was cool. And the main heroine, she was gorgeous.
Oh my god!
Right.
But the acting was horrible. The story made no sense. I think if it would have came out as an independent movie, which it kind of did, it would have been trashed and maybe been a cult classic later on like it is now. But let's face it, it only became popular in the past 5 years. It
I
was
think it's
all before that. Nobody liked it because it didn't have Michael Myers in it.
Although
But it
technically he
does.
wasn't it.
Ancillarily, he was on the television in the
get you.
bar and in the hospital, and that's it.
I agree that undoubtedly
That's Jimmy Legs over there. Oh,
not me.
or the
That's-
train.
that's
The train
it
passing by,
wasn't
yeah.
me. For a change.
undoubtedly, I think it played off. Well, I'm trying to babble, but in other words, it's like
Oh, you're doing very well. You're not trying. You're coming off
Except for
very
when
well.
You're pausing.
undoubtedly, the Halloween name brought people to see that movie
Yeah.
that otherwise probably would not have gone to see that movie.
Okay.
So I guess because of the success of the first one with Michael Myers and ultimately the release of the second one with Michael Myers is why it had a bit of a backlash when 3 came out because people went to see it thinking that they were going to see Michael
But
Myers.
do you
Of
think
course.
so? See, for me, I feel like if they had just come out with it and called it Season
Just
John
Season of the Witch.
Carpenter presents
I agree.
Season of the Witch.
Correct.
People would have gone out not expecting Michael Myers.
100%
It may not
agree.
have made all that money initially because people went to go see it, didn't see Michael Myers, and go, "That was stupid. I didn't see Michael Myers." They didn't go back and see it. Maybe if they came out as just Season of the Witch, John Carpenter's Season of the Witch, it would have made money more kind of like how Halloween did, just by
Correct.
word of mouth. Like, oh, hey, this was actually not bad. It's
It was terrible. But the point is,
it
though,
wasn't- it was
but
not
the
terrible.
point is, it was a battle between the producers saying we want Michael Myers,
Yeah,
and Carpenter,
it was
who
a
said
migrant.
I've got an idea of a themed, like a trilogy that's
Anthology.
separated,
Anthology.
right? An anthology separated, but all based on Halloween and
No,
what goes on
What
at
scares
Halloween.
me is what would have happened if it did make it was a commercial success. Now I'm scared that we missed out on a bunch of other possible.
Yeah,
John
no,
Carpenter films.
absolutely.
100%.
But he could have easily made those into independent movies on his own if he had a good
Yeah,
enough
but he
story.
may-
He would
may
have done
have.
it.
Right,
They
and
were
wait, what
never.
was his
They were
next
never
movie
written. They were
after-
never written. They were never developed.
After 3 was Assault on Precinct 13.
No,
was
Assault
that?
on Precinct 13 was after the original Halloween.
Yeah, that
Okay.
was.
Yeah, I don't think I've even seen that one. Anyway,
you
yeah,
haven't?
shut up. Oh wait, did The Thing come out? Was that 82?
No, that-
Oh
that-
no, that was 81.
prior to?
Prior to Halloween?
No, prior to
The
Halloween
Thing.
3.
It
was
was
that right?
it was prior to Halloween 3.
Okay.
I should just pull up.
But yeah, so I that's what my question is like, yeah, did he try to squeeze it in between something and then it just didn't do so well, so he was already written off at that point?
And that's possible. I mean, in other words, I think it was one of these things where on the strength of Halloween, he wanted to do his second movie, which was Season of the Witch. They said no. The only way we'll greenlight Season of the Witch is if you do Halloween 2. But I think the gap between those 3 movies, at which point he was already the pseudo it horror guy.
Yeah.
In reality, he probably could have.
Wait, when was Halloween 3? Was that 84?
Halloween 3. Oh, Escape from L.A. No, Escape
Yeah.
from New York.
Escape from New York.
That was 82.
82. So
Season
you
of
had
the Witch.
78,
Yep.
81,
We
no.
had 78,
80,
and then 81,
81,
and
then
then 82.
okay.
So Halloween 2 and Halloween 3 were one right
So
after
then
the other.
what was after? What came out after?
So
Well, then it
Escape
was-
from New York.
Escape from New York.
Black Moon Rising, Prince of Darkness, which was great. They Live.
Oh my god.
Oh, They Live. That's what I'm thinking of.
And
Okay.
then by that time, other people had done Halloween movies, and he came back for Halloween 5.
Okay.
Right.
So I feel like he probably he moved away from the genre of horror per se, like I should say serial kill horror.
They
horror.
Live, Prince of Darkness, Black Moon Rising. Those are all horror movies.
No. I'm saying slasher.
Oh,
slasher.
all right.
So serial killer slasher. So
Okay.
I think that was the thing is, if 3 had been a success, Now, Carpenter seems like the type where he would have been like, you know what, fuck you, I'm done with this anyway. Maybe he would have just been, after 3, he's like, even if it was a success, he's like, all right, you forced me to do 2, and now I did 3. Great, it's a commercial success, but he may have moved on to They Live anyway. I mean...
I don't think he was ever been a director that has done things because... to make money.
I disagree.
He jokes so much about it, but I think he's serious when he says, because I think that was one of the things I just seen on, what was it? It was Stephen Colbert. He said, Stephen Colbert asked him blatantly, do you know what the ending of the thing was? Was McCready the thing, or was Childs the thing?
Right.
And he said, I know. Just send me a check.
So
I think that's the thing is, I wouldn't doubt if somebody gave him enough money, he would fucking...
Absolutely. Because here's the other thing is he came back for Halloween 5, Halloween Curse of Michael Myers, Halloween H2O. Once he realized that Michael Myers was a paycheck, he kept cranking them out too. He did it for the money.
I mean, I guess Curtis did the same thing for. Sure. Was that Resurrection?
There was a time when she did do Resurrection, but there was a time when Jamie Lee Curtis spoke out against doing the horror movies. She wanted to break away from the horror movies. She didn't want anything to do with it because she felt she was being typecast and whatnot. But as soon as she realized there's such a huge fan base, she came right back to it and started doing Halloween movies again.
So I get what you're saying. I mean, it's like I will always remember.
No, but I'm ready to tap into my next one. But I finish your thought, and then I'm going to change my.
I will always remember Michael Caine.
Kill that bottle, by the way, if you want.
Michael Caine being interviewed, where they were Jaws 3 had just been released.
Okay.
did
And
we not do Jaws 3? The Revenge?
No.
Didn't.
I think you might have done in a previous iteration. No. But I don't think even you did.
No, it was regular Jaws. It was
just regular Jaws.
Regular.
I had
the first Jaws.
Don't worry about
regular.
That.
But anyway,
this is way more fun.
But so
finishing the bottle.
Yes.
But anyway, so he was interviewed, and they says like, Jaws 3, and why did you do it? And he goes, for the paycheck.
Absolutely.
He goes, there are movies that I do in between the movies that are my passion projects that I do purely.
You got to make a living.
I feel like his character only did it for the money. Like he acted fairly well in that movie, right?
Right.
It doesn't mean he's not going to do what he's paid to do well.
But you can tell some.
Still got integrity,
right? So in other words, it doesn't mean that he's not going to be a good actor. It doesn't mean that he's not going to make the most out of the storyline that's there. All it really means is, in his mind, it's there are movies that he makes that he's not making art. Like he's making a movie
he's got to make a living
that is going to be commercially successful.
Yeah.
Like he said in the same interview, he said it's like, yes, I also made a movie called The Bees. He goes, that was a dreadful movie, but it bought my house in Malibu.
Right.
It's like,
right.
And so
I would love to get to that point.
But I guess my argument.
I did this one podcast one time.
But my argument to that point though would be, I don't think that was John Carpenter, like through the late 70s into the early 80s. I think he was like more about, here are the movies I want to make. I think absolutely, as he became more experienced in the industry, he realized that often the only way that he's going to be able to make some of the movies that he wants to make is to be able to make some of the other movies that producers
pay your dues.
That he doesn't want to make, but he still does a good job, and he still puts his all into it.
Right.
There's nothing wrong with that. I'm a consumer, and I'm a entrepreneur. I love making money too. I mean, who doesn't? What's the problem with that? There's no fault in doing that. It's just the fact that I think John Carpenter did a lot of movies just for the money.
I feel like John Carpenter, though, is truthful enough that he'll tell you.
Sure.
Like, if somebody came to him and said, why'd you make this movie? He's like, I needed the paycheck. And
sure.
people go, ha, 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 ha. But he's like, no, fucking serious. Like, he's being honest. Like, at this age. Now, maybe back after Halloween and Halloween 2 and stuff like that, maybe he wasn't, he pretended to be not so serious. But, so, now I love talking about Halloween, but I haven't given mine yet.
Oh,
I have not.
okay.
The one I'm going to kind of stray away from what everybody else has done. Normal, typical slashers. I really still think people should watch Pontypool.
Agreed.
It's one that, if you're a true horror
agreed.
fanatic,
Absolutely agreed.
it takes you out of that. Like, if you're just sick of watching slashers and things like that, you watch this movie. It's kind of like a nice palate cleanser, and you can revive that need to want more and pay attention to different parts of a movie, because that's a lot of audio. Whereas, yes, you hear audio in horror movies, Halloween, all those things, the nice, that type of stuff. But you don't really pay as much attention to it because it gets so drowned out after 5 or 6 versions.
Totally agree.
This made you start paying more attention again to
Absolutely. To the little subtleties.
Well, and I think the other thing that it did for me, and I think this is a perfect example, and I'm sure we probably said it in the episode.
Go back and watch it.
Because it was a low-budget movie that didn't...
Low-budget review, too, actually.
Yeah. That obviously didn't necessarily have the budget to have, like, tons of different sets and all that kind of stuff.
Right, or special effects, a lot of special effects.
They still did a good job.
They did a great job.
But my point being the fact that it's like, remember that time back in the day when you were a kid and you read your first Stephen King book, and your mind was just so vivid with what you saw as what was going on in the book. Yeah. I think the power that movie had was you saw the tension in their faces and the tension in their voices and the tension of the frustration of the guy on the telephone and giving the weather, the traffic reporting guy,
right,
from the helicopter.
From the helicopter, which is a Subaru.
What a great scene.
It's like, but you never, other than like little glimpses here and there, you never saw any of the infected people.
Well, you did when they broke into the studio, and you saw them crazy. And the one assistant that kept smashing
against
himself.
the window. Yeah.
So you did get to see them, but they weren't incredibly made up.
Yeah.
Right.
Because it was a virus that was like a zombie thing, so they still looked relatively normal. They didn't look like veiny or falling apart in pieces.
But I think my point is just still it's there was a lot more in your imagination of what was really going on, and I was like, you were trying to imagine what was happening behind the door or out in that scene where
correct. Your imagination played a big part
like
of it. Absolutely.
And just like we always been said so many times before, it's like your imagination is often so much better than what a filmmaker can put on film. So
that is true.
I think that's the power of that movie. But I mean, it's funny that we did. That was a separate movie, and we did Skinamarink and Serbian Film, and we had our finishing the bottle for those two. But to be honest, it's like you look at Pontypool. A better comparison should have been Pontypool and Skinamarink.
Yeah.
Because
limited in a lot of the things.
But it's like,
are we talking because minimal sets and
yes,
all based on the audio?
There's not
a lot of script. I mean, Pontypool had a fair amount of script, but a lot was really kind of left to the imagination of where the scare is.
Yeah. So now I feel like if they had I don't know if this would, but I feel like if they had more facial expressions in Skinamarink, maybe that would have helped things. Because if you think about it, Pontypool is a lot of facial expressions, right? Because they're talking and they're like, "What's going on out there?" And
right.
You see their eyes
fear
racing,
in
like,
the eyes.
What's going on? Like, I honestly don't know. Like,
right.
I'm not there. Our eyes out there. And I feel like in Skinamarink, if maybe they had done something like that, where they showed the kids' faces sitting there, even if they showed them huddling together, just give us something. Like, they didn't even give you that. You just heard. Which,
you didn't even hear that much. That's the problem. In Pontypool, they describe the scene, and you hear screaming in the background and explosions, and oh my God, and I can't believe what I'm seeing. The man's eating his own daughter,
and then
or whatever.
The nonsensical stuff that they eventually start to say.
And even that, they put the audio so low, you're like, what? What was it? What?
Yeah.
What did they say?
Yeah.
What was that?
But it grabs you and pulls you in. That's what Skinamarink had potential, and I think they completely missed the mark.
I think they lost sight right from the fucking frame
But
one.
that is exactly my point. My point is the fact that to me.
Okay, you're right, Warwick. We get it. No, I was kidding.
But I think the point is, it's like Pontypool and Skinamarink are far closer in what they were trying to do. Mm-hmm. Pontypool did it amazingly well. Skinamarink did it dreadfully.
Yeah.
I agree.
Yeah, I think there's no way that Skinamarink has any value in any shape or form. Not a story, not the cinematography, not what they were trying to do, not what they accomplished, because they accomplished nothing. That was so bad.
It is a carbuncle on the face of humanity.
Doesn't even deserve to be talked about.
Wow. Okay. Even though we talked about it a lot.
We did a lot.
Talk about how bad it is.
Because social media, that's why it had any grip, was social media. The advertising, the marketing on that one, where they paid influencers to say it was a great movie, made it a great movie.
I wonder how many of them actually watched it.
I don't think any of them watched. Nobody could make it past the first half an hour.
I guarantee half of those influencers probably on their fucking phone half of the time.
They got paid.
Oh, this is a break.
They got paid to do a job. And that job was to say Skinamarink was great.
Damn. Do we have a middle ground for a movie?
So middle ground would be... So what I should have probably done is actually kind of worked out what that would be. So middle ground is probably going to be in like the 3.5 overall.
I'm trying to say our middle... The thing is, we had a lot of movies like that.
Yeah, well, and again, it's like we did have a lot of movies where, one person rated it really, really low and the other one rated it like reasonable. Good choice.
I'm going to go for this. Yeah.
So 3.5s would be
Jesus Christ,
Night of the Living Dead, and Knock at the Cabin, which
that's more of a psychological thriller. I felt like, but I think they executed that one fairly well.
It was a good one.
I think it was great. I think it was well done. It a lot. But I'm a big M. Night Shyamalan fan.
Yeah, you are.
I like all of his movies, just some more than others. But that one was a good departure for him. He didn't necessarily try to throw in the twist directly, blatantly.
So you could. So how have you guys seen the Leave the World Behind?
No.
Okay.
It's on Plex.
No.
I did see it. And honestly, to compare it to Knock at the Cabin, I would prefer Knock at the Cabin.
Okay.
Just that's my opinion. I would like you guys to see it.
Because
I'm definitely
basically the same story, though.
Pretty much, but at the end of it, my whole family watched it, and at the end of it, we were all kind of like, that's it. Like, very let down.
Okay. Well, you're only proving my point then, basically.
Yeah. I think the Knock at the Cabin...
So, don't get me wrong, Leave the World Behind has, it had potential. It did a decent job, but for fuck's sake, like, everybody's raving about it, and I watched it, and I go, that was 2 hours and 15 minutes. I wish I could.
Who's raving about it? Influencers?
Not necessarily. It was actually critics that were raving about it. So, but then again, it's a Netflix movie, so maybe they paid some people to start the trend. But Knock at the Cabin was one that I had also listened to the audiobook. And there were some differences and things like that, but I think the characters they picked, everything was fucking spot on. So M. Night did a great job, I think, on that.
Yeah, no, I thought Knock at the Cabin was excellent. And I think it's funny because whilst it didn't have the...
just like saying whilst.
I do like whilst.
He does.
It didn't have like a twist. Mm-hmm. In reality, almost the entire movie was the twist.
Yes. Yeah.
Because the entire movie, you all the way to the very end, quite frankly, you do not know whether or not these three people are fucking crazy.
I don't think you know what a twist is. The whole movie is not a twist. A twist is when they set you up for something and then pivot and change it to something else.
Right.
But
that whole movie was just a mystery.
In his defense, though,
it was a mystery.
In my defense,
they do have where
that's not a twist.
You think they're nuts.
Yeah.
Which you agree with the men in that movie, the couple and the girl, but then you start to kind of believe them. But then it's like, well, is it back to the original, which is no, this is just fucking them being crazy.
That's the twist.
That's not a twist.
It is a twist.
That's a mystery. That's a conundrum.
In his defense. In your defense, Is that a spin?
It's okay. Spin is even more so. It's certainly not a twist. A twist is something where they surprise
Put
you
in the
with a
comments
change
if you
in
think
the.
if you think Knock at the Cabin had a twist in it.
The whole thing.
The whole thing is a twist. The whole thing is a twist because
It's not a twist. That can't be a twist. A twist is a sudden change of events. That's not a sudden change of events. The whole thing is just a mystery. When Hercule Poirot tries to solve mysteries, the whole thing a twist because he keeps finding stuff from different paths, leading him down different ways. No, it's just a mystery.
Who the hell is he talking about?
Hercule Poirot. Hercule. Did I say Hercule?
Yeah,
Yeah.
Hercule.
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 I thought I had.
Hercule Poirot. I don't know.
I don't know who that is. Unless
Agatha Christie.
Agatha Christie mysteries.
Like
he was
Death on the Nile.
there was several movies.
So I saw the movie Death on the Nile, the most recent one.
All right. Do you remember the guy with the big mustache?
Yeah,
that was
him.
Hercule Poirot.
Holy shit!
Hercule.
I should have probably known.
Hercule.
That's probably why, because you
Yeah,
said
Hercule.
Hercules.
I said it Hercule again.
So I started
Poirot.
going like, what's his name in the Argonauts?
Hercules.
Hercules.
The Herculeans.
Jason
right?
and the
Jason and the Argonauts.
Yeah,
Thank
but
you.
that was the
See, I was
Herculeans.
close.
Yeah,
Jeez.
close enough.
Anyway, we
Not
This is
Hercules.
normal digression
we
for us.
digress.
But
It was still a twist.
so we've covered movies we feel like people should see. We've covered movies we liked that obviously you should see. Movies we didn't like that you should not see. Is there anything that surprised us, I guess? Something we were expecting it to be horrible or good. Something that was expected to be horrible ended up being bad. Something that was good that we thought was going to be good ended up being horrible. If that helps.
So you're looking for a twist. Sorry.
Damn.
Sorry. You want to read through the list again? Because I don't fucking remember.
Yeah, I'm trying to think of anything that we watched that.
Yeah, that surprised you.
Yeah.
Good for bad. Well, I'll tell you, I will say that Skinamarink surprised me. I thought, ooh, this could be really scary. And it turned out to be a piece of shit.
Right, I agree. And
I was hopeful.
Yeah.
my
yeah,
flip
I
side
had a lot
to
of
that
hope.
was Train to Busan. That I thought was just phenomenal.
That was better than I thought.
It was
I had
it
heard
was
good
okay.
things, but that was good.
It was okay.
Yeah, it was
all right.
a great movie.
It was all right.
It was a great movie.
It was okay.
It's because they didn't have blood spurting out of every orifice.
No, it had nothing to do with the blood. It was the storyline. It was the over the top of the, oh, my darling, oh, falling from the train for 6 hours. My daughter. We got it. You're sad. Your daughter's dying. She's falling from the train. Come on.
We cried.
It was an over the top Japanese saturated,
Actually, I think it was Korean.
over the top saturated.
Just say Asian.
Racist.
Moving on. It was okay.
Okay, so how about this? How about
Well, one that I was going to say that we anticipated being good. I think I still rated it fairly decent, but ended up being not so good, just because of the length of the movie. If that gives you any hint at what I'm leaning towards.
a long movie?
A long movie.
Oh, there
that
was
we-
one movie that was like, that was the downfall. Is that just kept going and going and going. What was the
It was
movie?
a good movie. I'll say. It was
Oh, House That Jack Built.
Thank you.
Yeah, because it was
Yeah,
slow paced,
Yeah.
but not really.
But they just kept going.
It just kept going, and it wasn't like it was
Oh, yeah,
moody
yeah.
and overbearing. It was
I
just,
really liked the film.
Yeah, they
but
got
just
their
the
point
length
across.
Just kept,
Right.
That was the whole devil one, right?
Yeah.
Yes.
Well, Devil. That was the one where he was
He
was
was
the.
He was talking
He was talking with
like in Purgatory.
Right. Purgatory. Seven. The 9 levels
gates of-
of,
nine
Gates of Hell.
of hell.
Yeah.
Why am I going blank on who did that now?
Dante's Inferno.
Dante's
Yes.
Inferno. Thank you.
But yes, that just kept on dragging on and on and on. Even like the very final scene. Well, sorry, no, I actually take it back. The final segment was probably the only part that was like really really cool, like the whole building the house out of the people.
But after that, as soon as he went through the whole of that house,
then it got stupid.
then it
again.
started getting a little bit too trippy and a little bit too existential, and people. That's where they lost people.
Yeah.
Because I got it. He was going through the gates of hell, and every stage you saw him, the mimic of them that mimicked the painting that Dante made. And
Right.
I mean, it was, I get it, but you didn't need to like beat me over the head with it. I got it. Move on. You know,
That's Lars von
down,
Trier, right? That was he also did Antichrist. Right?
Yes,
So,
right. He was a pretty famous director at the time, or at the time that wasn't that long ago. But
while we're on Antichrist, I heard Willem Dafoe was pretty well hung.
Okay, so what's your next bourbon, liquor, scotch, whiskey?
All right, yeah, let's
I'm jumping.
So I'm still finishing off a bottle since you guys are two giant.
Yeah,
I gave myself a very big pour.
You're
so
still
I'm
on your
still on
your Peat
pour.
Monster. I jumped right to Peat Monster. God, that smell just draws me right in.
Well, and I have to say, it's like this is as enjoyable now as it was when we first had it.
Absolutely.
No, see now.
And it's not
You
even
have
the one
to-
that we had.
I was gonna say you have to say the cast strength.
was the
shit.
fucking the shit. That was the shit.
Jesus.
The cast
Now,
strength of this.
That was okay. I don't know if you've watched our previous episode where we had that in there. I did tell the story, but I'm gonna tell it again. The Peat Monster. We had gone to the Whiskey Fest for Binny's in
World of Whiskeys.
World of Whiskeys, and somebody was unable to go. I'll
It's
leave
in
that out there.
Chicago, where I don't know. You were outside
Supposedly,
of Chicago. So.
according to Lon, this was the largest.
Not
Whiskey
according to
Fest.
me. So according to all the other distributors that were at that event, and
There was over
subsequent
100
events.
vendors with
they
each
were
having how many 4 to 5 versions
it
of their
was way more than
whiskeys. We were there for over 3.5 hours and got through maybe half of it. But we did see this was one of those reasons. One of those the bottle label. If you see this label, you probably can't see it on the screen there, but look it up. Just type in Peat Monster, you'll see it. It's basically kind of Spaghetti Monster meets Cthulhu-ish.
Yes.
Oh, I guess that's a good way.
And it caught my attention. And we had been walking around, Lon and I, for probably a good hour, and I'd seen it multiple times. And Lon finally turned to me and says, "Which one do you want to try?" And I said, Peat Monster.
Yeah, we beelined it from across the room.
Yep. And we walked straight over to it. And as we got there, the guy goes, "Hold on," and he pulls out a cask strength from underneath.
Yeah.
And that was the coolest thing ever. So then I said, well, I want to try that one, but cask strength is better. So screw it. Let's try the cask strength. Holy shit. I did not anticipate it being that good. That was just phenomenal. I don't even think we tried the regular at that point.
I don't think we did. As soon as we had that, we just had them keep pouring.
Yeah, we had to just keep moving.
Yeah, that was.
But yeah, they then you thankfully bought this and brought it to. Jesus Christ, we did do a good number on that one
because it's phenomenal.
This is Pumpkinhead.
Yeah, that was Pumpkinhead. Oh my god!
Because it was our own monster movie, so we had to have a monster.
And this is still great. That's still a good one. But that definitely, I tell any and everybody, the World of Whiskeys thing was phenomenal.
It was overwhelming.
For next year, I don't care.
A bit.
Is it by my birthday?
No, this was this year, the one that we went to already.
Oh.
I was looking to see if they said how many people, but all they have is this event is passed, so they don't go through it. I was trying to find out how many vendors were there.
All the vendors were nice. That was a fucking great time.
3 hours. We had nowhere near
am I
enough
making you
time.
jealous or?
Well, he's been there. He's been there.
I know you went the year before, but it wasn't as good as ours.
No,
It was-
all I remember from the year before was
I remember pictures.
Yeah, was me just like slumped over.
Yeah.
I'm very upset.
My
You
Wait,
guys
wait,
did
who am I?
You you guys did ask me to go to that. I can't remember what I had going on that same weekend,
But we did not make as much fun of Logan for not going as they
That's
did
true.
me for not going.
Yeah.
it's more fun
Yeah.
that way. Because now watch, he's going to be able to go.
But
you get all three of us there, that's going to be trouble.
But the World of Whiskeys in Chicago, what the other distributors were telling us, especially because we went to other whiskey tasting events in Illinois, Northern Illinois, and we'd come across the same distributors or the same people that were, doing the pours
recognizing us.
and stuff, and they recognize us, and they're
Yeah.
like, "Oh, hey,
Well,
we saw your
him.
World
They
of
don't
Whiskeys," and
Who's this ugly ass?
we'd talk to them. That's the whole point of this: is you get to talk to the distributors, you get to talk to the people who make the whiskey. I remember talking to the guy from Angel's Envy who came up with the recipe for Angel's Envy, talking to him for a while. That's what you do. You get to talk to these people. You get to learn about their process. You get to learn what they do different or the same or whatever. And every one of them were like, oh, yeah, the World of Whiskeys in Chicago, the Binny's one in Chicago, is the largest one we go to. I remember Penelope's whiskey that we came up to. They're like, oh, yeah, we come all the way from New York for this one because it's the largest in the country.
Well, remember the guy last year, the Scottish guy, I think
Tuborg.
The
Tuborg.
Tuborg, where he brought out like the little sampler thing that
stuff he was working on.
Stuff he was working on that we got to try. And stuff. It was like it was
that could be the next Tuborg.
I wasn't there.
Blend.
It was awesome.
It was awesome. It was awesome because
it's
he's
our
like
own private thing because we were there and you weren't.
Yeah. Rub it in.
I just want to point out that the constant in both of their stories is that I was there.
I was going to say, notice Lon's been there.
I was at all of them.
No, it's a fun time, and I think that's the nice thing is honestly that's something where because a lot of this stuff is expensive. I mean, you're not going to be able to buy a lot of the stuff. We try to find stuff in the good price point. So that anybody could buy a bottle, or at least we buy it and try it, and hopefully you either say no, I would never even go near that, or you say
and what's our glory hole point?
Glory hole.
Zachariah Harris.
No.
Yeah, Zachariah Harris came from a glory hole.
Hence the brand.
What's the perfect price point for a bourbon that we're trying to find?
I think we're
magic.
still $40 to $50.
$50.
$40 to $50. $45 is the magic number. If we can find the perfect bourbon within $45.
Some that we purchased. Well, I say we. Lon buys most of them at $40 to $50. That we're kind of like it's not worth that, right? I mean, and then there's some where you're just like there's some that shock you. Like I mean, I think Four Roses still.
Yeah,
that's
Four
30 to
Roses
40, and you're like
the best bourbon for the money.
Yep.
Especially a small batch.
Yeah, the small batch.
That stuff's incredible. I mean, they get pretty expensive when you're talking about some of the Four Roses. Some of the Four Roses get way up there in price.
Oh yeah.
But even their base $20 bottle is magic.
That's what's funny is when I first started this whole thing, it's like Jack Daniels was all I could drink. Now I haven't even touched Jack in probably 2 years.
Yeah, I'm not a fan. I used
a year and a half,
and he is so thankful for that.
Right.
Honestly, now I'm afraid to. I should probably go home and try some Jack just to go.
Yeah, I was gonna say that's what you'll do. That's the problem. Is you'll be like, yeah.
I'll be like dumping it out because I do need room in mine. As like you are. I mean, I've only got like a little tiny cabinet, but
well, the problem is when you get more room, you fill it.
Yeah.
Ain't that the truth?
Just saying.
But yeah, I think that that's the one thing I am grateful for with this whole thing is it's been a learning experience both from the movie perspective and also from these different alcohols. I mean, we have a good time. And that's kind of our main objective with this whole podcast. Oops, as I smack this mic, is to just do things that which we already love. We already love watching movies. Lon has roped us both into loving. Well, you may have liked bourbon around the same time, but and now we're mixing the two together. I think that's something that we're trying to help people understand too. That you can do this. You can have a couple shots of whiskey while you're watching a film, and it might add to the effect of the film, or you might just say, that was a pretty good pairing, or no, don't ever drink that ever again.
I will say it seems like the majority of fans, because we've had fans, believe it or not, approach us at various events, and they're kind of split down the middle. A lot of times it's people who come to the show, watch the show just for the bourbon.
Right.
And then there's the other side of the crowd that comes to the show and watches the show just for the movies. So,
but they
really,
still probably I'm hoping they still probably pick something up along the way, right?
Sure.
But the point is, like in the case, one of the cases I'm talking about is we were at a horror show, and we had a husband and wife couple come up to us, and they were
had a threesome, didn't you?
It was in a public place.
I kind of went there.
Yeah, kind of. But the point is, they came up to me, and the husband was like, "Wow, love your show. What do you have? What's the best bourbon for this price range? And this, I like Wild Turkey, so what bourbon should I go for?" And the wife was like, "I really love the movie you guys talk about. Here's my favorite movie. What's your favorite movie? What movie should I look for that's in the right room?" And that's what brought them together.
Right.
I shouldn't say that. We didn't bring them together. I'm just saying they were together, but
true love.
But we showed both sides. We were appealing to both sides.
Sure.
We had the movies and we had the bourbon, and they were both into both separately. If that makes sense.
Yeah.
So
it does.
I think that, to me, that I can't tell you how much I enjoyed that conversation just from that.
I can't wait to go to a convention and somebody goes, "Hey, MMD." That's gonna be awesome. That's gonna be
would be cool.
I know you've had it happen a couple times.
A couple times now, but
I haven't been to a convention in a while, so that's what I'm blaming it on.
Sure.
Yeah, well, I mean, the last Elgin one, and not the most recent one, but the one before that, I think it was Ghoulish Mortals that they recognized me from.
Yes. Somebody, who was it? There was one of the people who approached me about it saying, hey, they actually approached Amy, my wife, and they said, hey, is your husband in the Midnight Movie Distillery? Is that Lon from Midnight Movie Distillery? And my wife's like, yeah. Oh, and don't they, what was the thing? He says, yeah, they do it with, or we found it from that guy from Ghoulish Mortals. Worked from Ghoulish Mortals. I'm like, he's in the podcast too, right? And they're like, yeah, that's who we heard about it from. It's like, okay.
Yeah.
So you are more famous for Ghoulish Mortals than you are for...
We'll get there.
The podcast.
We'll get there. So, one of the things that we have reviewed a lot of movies, but there's also a lot of movies that we have not reviewed.
Mm-hmm.
Can you think of a movie that you've seen this year?
Oh, wow.
Does he have props?
I'm assuming so. Or he's got to really go to the bathroom.
But that's that way.
I know, but you never... Oh, Jesus, he's got a stack. Oh, my goodness.
Okay, so these are movies I want you guys to watch.
That you actually bought...
okay,
you
before
bought
we
on
say
DVD?
anything, I guarantee
No,
these
I've
are
had
gay
these
horror.
for decades.
Okay.
Pumpkinhead, we already did see that one.
Okay.
Dead Snow.
Love it.
Ooh, okay. I've seen it, but it's been so long.
Have you seen the sequel?
I have. Dead Snow 2 is just as
That's
good.
Yeah.
a Blockbuster
Easily
exclusive.
just as good.
Did you steal that from a Blockbuster?
They were going out of business. They sold
That's
they
true.
sold their grandmother
That's
for fucking money. Dead Snow, fantastic. 1 and 2, outstanding. I still think we need to do Martyrs. Really a heavy hitter.
Isn't there there's a
Like kick you in the
remake
face.
of that too? Correct?
Yeah, I haven't seen the remake.
Yeah, neither have I.
And I'm worried because there's no way you're going to get better than this. The scenes that were in this were so graphic and so mind-boggling.
Unhinged.
There's no way that they can reproduce that.
Okay.
But still, Martyrs. Got to see that one.
It's one of the ones I haven't seen. So
It's funny that he had these ready.
Tusk?
That
I
should
love
have
Tusk.
That should have been on our list.
Right?
I
feel like it's-
Why didn't we watch
I
this?
saw that in the theaters.
Because we're saving stuff for
I'm a
next year. We
huge
got a whole
Kevin
year
Smith fan.
coming up.
All right. Yeah, right. And not only Kevin Smith, but Justin Long.
Yeah.
Come on.
I did not really understand my love for Justin Long
Really?
until
Even after
Until Jeepers Creepers.
Jeepers
until-
Creepers
no,
should've-
until
that should've-
probably-
that was his first.
probably like, and the funny thing is, it's probably more like Zach and Miri make it like just his comedy roles are spot on, but it's one of those things where I'm just like, son of a bitch, he's been in a lot of shit. That I like.
Absolutely.
Like, that's-
You know why? Because he's a likable guy in
Yep.
real life,
Yep.
and he's friends with everybody.
Right.
Yeah.
Well, and yeah, because Die Hard 4,
Probably four. I
4
think.
thing. He was in that. He was the hacker guy.
Yep.
And Kevin Smith
And
Kevin-
Dodgeball.
and Kevin Smith was
Because
in that as well.
they're close friends.
But yeah, but yeah, Tusk is
that
excellent.
surprised
Okay.
me, to be honest.
That's a good one.
So Tusk. We'll add it for 24.
We should do Tusk and Jeepers Creepers.
Oh, do a Justin Long series?
Yeah.
I think that's possible.
Yeah, I think that'd be good.
Do you know
Did
his
you-
middle name is Just kidding.
Justin is long. Yeah.
Have you guys seen? Speaking of Christmas movies, now
She's dying over here.
It's a Wonderful Knife.
I have not seen it yet. It's on my list.
It's on Plex, but
I've already watched it. You got to watch it. Justin Long is in it.
Oh, he is.
Okay.
Okay. I was wondering where you're going with it.
Justin Long.
I hope he's in
It's
it.
another Justin Long vehicle.
Okay.
Maybe not Justin Long vehicle. It's also got. Now I'm going to go blank on everybody's name in it, of course, because it does have some good names in it. But it's. Are you going to look it up?
Yeah.
Good, because the other guy did a talk show and I can't remember his name, and I'm pissed off. And he.
Ryan Seacrest?
No, not that bad. No, this guy's actually funny. Joel McHale.
Oh, Joel
Yeah,
McHale.
Joel
Yeah,
McHale's
yeah,
in it.
I like it.
Jane Widdop.
Eh,
Justin Long.
what? Are you just saying words? What's
No.
going on? What?
Her. She's cute.
Oh yeah, but she's an unknown in this movie. She's an unknown before that. Do you know
Okay.
where she's from?
No.
Okay. But the point is,
Catherine Isabel's in it.
Catherine Isabel is in it. If you know anything about me, people, you know that I'm a huge Ginger Snaps fan.
Really?
And Catherine Isabel is in that. And I'm a sucker for anything Catherine Isabel is in.
Yeah,
she was
gorgeous.
even in...
Maybe we should do Ginger Snaps.
She was in a...
We should do Ginger Snaps and American Mary.
Oh,
I've never seen American Mary.
oh, she's in that one too. And it's a Soka Sisters movie.
And
It's over there.
say,
It's over there on the wall. There's the Soka Sisters.
saw.
Warwick bought me a bone saw signed by the Soka Sisters,
Okay.
and it's hanging on my wall over there. Now, you can't see it, but it's over
because
there.
I like him.
Yeah.
Yeah, apparently you
Yeah.
don't like me. I think I get it.
No, I believe that the comment for that was for you to buy me something too.
Yes.
That's I think what he was going with that one.
I will find something.
You got
Actually,
you got
funny-
you got coffee.
Wait,
You just didn't remember you got coffee.
So funny you should mention that. I do have something that we could
Is it that whiskey? Oh, it is
could
a
add
whiskey.
to the list
It is
here.
a whiskey. Don't add it to my bar. I got plenty of
You
whiskey
need
in
to
my
add
bar.
to your bar. I have no space in my.
What? Okay, because I got tons of
You
space.
have more space than I do.
Doesn't mean I got enough space
Just
for
stub
all
your
this
toe
shit.
One more time.
Yeah, literally, I stubbed my toe
Anyway,
walking around my bar.
let's
Keep going.
Okay,
You got
all right,
more.
okay,
your movies.
all right, okay.
I'm intrigued. Every time he crosses,
Another one?
Every time he clears his throat, I feel like he's going to say something like really important.
Yeah. I think it's just.
See how that works?
I think he just likes
See
the
how I
animals.
build them up?
I'm sorely
You like
disappointed.
That? Okay. What? Yeah, have you been disappointed yet?
No, not
Okay.
yet.
All right. Here's a little bit of a head scratcher.
J-Hor. Undead.
Undead.
This is a New Zealand movie.
Oh.
Because New Zealand horror is very, very good. But this is an older one. It's an over-the-top, silly Evil Dead 2 styled movie
Interesting.
that you will love. I won't give away the twist because there is a twist because they're fighting zombies most of the movie, but then you find out what really is going on. And it's actually hilarious. It's the kind of thing where, just to give you a little scene from it, yes, you've got to get on Plex. You've got to watch it. You can see where she's got a triple sawed-off shotgun in there and stuff like that, and the gas mask. She's awesome. She's an ass kicker.
No,
But
it's on Plex.
okay, so but the part of the movie where the main character is sort of like this American cowboy kind of guy, not the main character, but one of the guys who's supposed to be like the big ass kicker. He's buck naked, hanging upside down, and then all of a sudden, like when he's surrounded by the zombies come up, you hear a whew, and guns come out of like nowhere out of his butt, and he kind of grabs them and he just keeps shooting because you're like, where did those come from? And it's like, it's funny, it's ridiculous, it's silly, it's stupid, and it's awesome.
Okay.
Are there sheep in it?
There are a lot of sheep in
Yeah,
it.
because it's New Zealand.
It's New Zealand.
Yeah.
Okay.
Right.
Undead. We have to watch Undead. New Zealand.
Okay.
We got to do a New Zealand.
So we can do that.
So-
in Lord of the Rings.
Here's what I'm thinking.
Or Wolf Creek.
We could do Wolf Creek. Wolf Creek would
that's
be
Aus-
perfect.
That's Australian.
Oh, it is Australian.
But we could do like Australasian.
But there's plenty of New Zealand horror movies out there.
So here's my thing. Could those be live shows?
Any of them could be live shows.
throwing it out there?
Do you think? But live show people love to go like see the shows that they are fanboys of.
Right.
I don't know if anybody knows of
Exactly.
Undead.
Maybe you could start a trend.
You could do a Tusk one. You could
Tusk
do-
one for sure.
Tusk for sure.
Tusk for sure.
But then it's hard to do live show with two episodes.
Because you guys need to try it.
Okay, crack that bitch open. Hang on, I got one more for you too. Ooh.
We have to try
Suck
this.
my bitch.
I still got a little bit of
Suck my bitch. Did you say?
I still got a little bit of Pete Monster to suck my bitch.
I think that's what he said. Was suck my
This
bitch.
is a children's show.
I meant to say smack my bitch.
Oh, that's much better.
Change my pitch up.
I've got
Wait.
one more.
Change my
So
diaper.
just for those that can't see, this is Uncle Nearest 1894, small batch.
Did we try that? That was at the Elgin
We have
Whiskey
not-
Fest.
No, we looked at this.
Yeah, we
and
didn't try
never
it
got
there?
to it. Wait.
So what made you buy that one?
So this was actually a
1884 is his pin number.
Well, now it's
telling
now
you,
he's got
now
to
everybody
change
knows.
it.
No, this was one of the many. There was a few bottles of Uncle Nearest. There was an 1856, I believe it was, that took top billing in a competition in Las Vegas for whiskeys.
Really?
So this got a 94 out of 100.
You know, Smoke Wagon is from Vegas.
I
And
did
Smoke
not like
Wagons.
Smoke Wagon. Sorry. We tried
What?
That. We tried that at Whiskey. Remember that was the guy that had
You
all the
didn't like
rings?
Smoke Wagon?
I did not like any of the Smoke Wagons. We tried all of
My
them. That
God,
they
I
had.
love Smoke
I
Wagon.
love the way they look. I love the bottles, but for whatever reason.
Somebody, the Whittle Dwunk.
Stop it.
That was a gurgle pop.
I already popped it.
Oh. You already...
I'm still.
I've still
drinking.
got some... Yeah, I
you
got to
guys
finish
are-
my smoky, peaty heaven. This stuff is awesome, man.
Keep going.
Jeez.
Movies.
Okay, last one I've gotten this. Now,
Okay.
the reason I had these at the ready, I had these on my desk, and I suggested them to you guys 8 months ago.
Not undead.
Because we were looking... Yeah. But because we talked about them, and we were like... I said, let's pick all movies that we want the other guys to watch. That they might have never heard of, but that we love.
Okay.
So what's a movie that you love or you love that you don't think either of us have ever seen, probably haven't ever seen, and would really want us to watch?
Ooh, shit, don't start with me because I got to think about this.
Well, this is what I did.
Okay. Well, do you have
So
one more?
I have one more.
All right, let's
One
let
more,
you
and
go
then we'll
first.
jump to it. One of my favorites. Now you got to realize I like the
Is this
over-the-top,
going to be like the
funny, silly.
fax machine and the versus the Spider-Man from J-horror type of movie?
You didn't like that movie? That was a good movie. What?
The whole movie was like.
Brings back
Okay,
bad
you
memories.
win. It would be a bad movie.
The horror.
Trailer Park of Terror. Listen,
I think I have that on play.
yes, it is on
mentioned
Plex.
that one before.
I have
That was
mentioned it
probably
before.
around the time that you were deciding between Dead and Breakfast and Trailer Park. Does that-
Yes, very good, very good. You're right. That was it. Trailer Park of Terror. Triple H is the devil,
So Hunter Hearst Helmsley?
and
Yeah.
why is he part of the show?
I don't know.
I'm just
You invited him.
I'm the sexy face.
It's got rockabilly, it's got zombies, it's got blood and guts, it's got
But
cannibalism.
you still don't rate this above
It's
Dead
got-
and Breakfast.
It's got, well, A Dead and Breakfast is classic.
That's a good way of saying only I like it, nobody else does.
This,
I like it.
yeah, kiss my ass. Okay,
No, I did like it. But
it's got a demolition derby in it. It's got a trailer park. It's got a beauty queen. It's
it doesn't look like a beauty queen on the cover.
Was she from a local strip club?
they show her. No, she's like. You gotta watch it. You
Okay.
gotta watch it.
Okay.
But we gotta do a show on it. I don't want you to just watch it and then forget about it or say, "Oh my God, that was great." We should do a show on it.
Nicole Hiltz.
She's gorgeous.
Yeah, she is.
sounds
She is pretty
familiar.
cute.
Now, those are the movies that I thought to myself, what would be a good show is if we got the other guys to watch a show that you loved. Logan, Warwick, think about it. What's a show a movie that you love that you don't think anybody else likes or has ever seen that you want us to watch?
But that's
See, the one that I'm thinking of is I think you guys have already actually seen, so I'm going to try and find something.
the box.
Ooh, I have not seen the box.
Did you like The Box?
It was okay.
See, what the fuck? That's not it. I'm talking about a movie that you loved.
The movie I was thinking was the one, The Grid. Was it The Grid?
Oh, The Cube.
The Cube. Yeah.
Cube. I already watched it. It
See,
was
I
so.
liked Cube.
I didn't
I like the British version. Oh, sorry, the English version. But I watched the
How
Japanese.
come How come you had to correct British to English? Doesn't the British version work?
Because it was American.
Then what's the British version, English version? What does that mean?
Well, it's in English as opposed to Japanese.
So English as American.
Yeah.
Okay.
American.
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 Okay, got it.
Yes.
I got a quiz for you.
Because I watched the Japanese version, and I didn't actually like the Japanese version as much as the.
They made a Japanese version.
That
of
was the
Cube.
original. It was originally a Japanese.
I think you.
I might have liked it better if it was a Japanese version.
Yes.
I like Japanese movies.
It was.
did not
It
like
was
Cube.
literally. I'm not going to say a frame for frame remake, but it was like.
that's good, I
It was
guess.
pretty much the
Same
identical
storyline.
movie.
Yeah. Not a fan.
It was cool. It was an interesting take on, pseudo psychological thriller type thing. I mean, it's like the horror parts were really just the kills, and like they hook you at the very, very beginning because the very first kill is freaking awesome.
Yeah.
Because the guy gets like cut in half or like zapped or.
As I say, in the movie, the Cube original, the guy gets diced.
Yeah, yeah.
But
So
He gets cubed. Okay, so name a movie that you loved that you want us to watch because we probably haven't.
but again,
probably have though.
that's the problem. The problem is it's like you
Really?
really you've seen a ton of movies.
Really?
First one that comes to mind.
You can't
for me,
come up with a movie
which
that nobody's
I'm gonna
seen?
say it, and you guys have already seen it. I'm almost certain. Session 9.
Session 9. I thought it was a little slow and drawn out. I thought it was a little boring.
Okay. Warwick, have you seen it?
It was okay, but
I
it was
haven't seen it.
boring.
Okay, then that's enough for me for you to actually see it. I would recommend it.
Okay.
Okay.
He recommends
Is
a
it on
boring
Plex?
movie to you.
More than likely, if not, I think
it
got
is
the
on
original
Plex,
copy.
actually.
When I say original, Jesus, it's a DVD, but I can get it to you.
I don't do originals.
I don't do humans.
Side note, did you try the Uncle Unrest?
I did.
And?
Uncle Nearest,
what
not
was
Unrest. Session 9, number 9. Session,
I've had
and then
some
just
bourbon
space
tonight.
9. But are you ready for it?
No, I'm working on this. I've got a lot. I did a big
Oh.
pour on the compass.
Harry, it's not. It's session 9, not
That's
season 9.
Yeah.
Session.
I wonder how many shows actually make it to season.
Although I will give it the props that it was one of those movies that was actually
No,
in an
it's on
insane
there.
asylum,
Yeah,
That
it
one, right?
should be there, yeah.
an old abandoned insane asylum.
So, for
I
those
did
that
like
don't
that.
know, this is one of my favorite films. And a lot
Really?
of people haven't seen it.
It's one of your
and
favorites?
It's one of my favorites because it was suggested to me many, many years ago, and it's one of those things where you're just like, oh, everybody says it. It got David Russo in it.
Yeah.
You think he's the biggest name in it,
Right.
But you think
He does a good job in it.
You mean Caruso?
I said Russo, sorry, Caruso.
Please, we've all been fucking up words tonight.
Correct. But yeah, that was.
Josh Lucas is in it as well.
Yes, he is. At the time, he was probably. Oh yeah, he's. I know which.
I don't
Wow.
think he was that big at the time.
It's pulling from the CSI group
Yes, it is.
because Paul Guilfoyle is in it as well.
Guilfoyle?
Yes.
So it's one of those films. So basically, it's, the synopsis of it, very brief. A group of people are hard up for work, and they clear out asbestos. And one of the places they go to is an old insane asylum, abandoned insane asylum. And one of the guys finds tapes of different sessions with a person from the psychiatric ward. It was just one of those ones where it was suggested to me. I'm like, okay, this is gonna suck. But by the end of it, I'm like, son of a bitch.
Because the concept is good, but it's slow.
It is slow.
And it's drawn out.
It's a slow burning. If you liked Hereditary, though, it's
Well, I
probably right
did
up there.
like
Yeah,
Hereditary,
it's
and I
probably
didn't
right up
like Session 9.
I wasn't a huge
I shouldn't
fan.
say I didn't like it. I liked Session 9.
But it's
not a
I
favorite.
feel like you could go Midsummer slow.
What?
Then
God.
above this would be Session 9.
Hate Miss.
I also hate Midsummer.
No, exactly. So Midsummer to me was super slow.
Yeah.
Then you got Session 9, and then maybe a little after that would be Hereditary.
I thought Hereditary moved along just fine. They had a lot of good payoffs in between.
All I gotta say to you
And
is,
it-
I'm just kidding.
Yes.
And
well,
at least they killed off the ugly girl. So
Oh,
wow. Dude.
What?
Wow.
What?
That's a child. Wow.
she was
could you say that
She
she was
had-
giving head to the pole?
she was fucking ugly.
Okay, we've covered some good stuff here.
We've
What do we
drawn
feel-
this lo-
I know. What do we feel is overrated? It
Overrated?
doesn't even have to be movies that we've watched. What do we feel is
Overrated.
overrated?
By the way, viewers or listeners,
Or people,
we're
or
just happy if you
people in
want
general.
to if you want to pause and then pick it up on the car ride on the way home, and then pause it and then pick it up again the next
This
morning.
is what happens
for
with us.
coffee.
We just talk.
Because this is a long episode,
It's
but
an
we're
hour
having a
24.
good
We've gone
time.
2 hours. Before.
This is our longest
Do we need to
episode
split
yet.
it up? We'll see.
I don't think so. I think
No,
this
we're
is a
just
cool
gonna
episode.
run
This is
through.
the year end,
all right,
bitch.
so
We're
what-
going 2 hours.
So what
Fuck
was
it.
your question, or what was your
So what's a movie you feel
What
is
was your question?
overrated? That
Skinamarink.
Skinamarink?
Okay,
Easy.
All right. Obviously, removing that one from it.
Okay.
What's a movie that in out of all the movies, not just
Midsummer.
ours? Okay.
Any A4 film?
A24.
A24.
That one too.
He has the early iteration. It was
Yes,
like,
A4.
it was
Back when it was A4.
it was 20 left.
We're talking
And
20
it was
before
exactly
that.
this size.
Yeah.
It was A4 size.
Paper. On paper, A4 is horrible.
I'm going to have a little bit more of the Pete Monster.
You're missing out
I'm
on
working.
some
I'm working.
here.
I've still got a lot here. I don't know what to do.
I think that's something that a lot of people, need to start. I think they need to start taking a look back at movies that they watch throughout the year, because a lot of times you get these critics that they'll rate movies, high on Rotten Tomatoes or even low on Rotten Tomatoes for no reason. It's just because either they don't like the director or they don't like the production company.
Or they were in a bad mood when they watched it.
Right.
Yeah. Therefore, it tainted the movie for them.
And the funny thing is you can.
said taint.
So did you guys like Schwarzenegger?
I do like him generally.
The Schwarzenegger movie where he was
specific.
I think it was
Terminator.
Daniel Byrne.
He played Daniel Byrne.
Daniel Byrne
What
was in it. It was a holy movie.
Oh, you mean End of Days?
End of Days.
What did you think of that movie?
I liked it.
I thought it was excellent.
Yeah.
I hated it. Only because I bought a ticket to go see the movie in the theater, but I got stuck sitting in the aisle because enough people snuck into the movie. I got stuck sitting in the aisle. I fucking hated the movie. It's probably not that bad of a movie, but I fucking hated it because of the way things
go out and tell them about it.
So we have probably talked about this before. But there is, I think it's still technically around, there's a website called Core News.
Mm-hmm. That's still around.
It was started by this guy called Harry Knowles.
Yep.
This big fat guy from
Harry Balls. No, I'm just kidding.
from Texas with ginger hair.
And
a beard. And the thing that was interesting was, so like when he first started doing movie reviews, it was just simply he was going to the movies and started doing reviews. It wasn't like he had any background in reporting or anything. But the thing that was cool about him was he would start the review by telling you what kind of a day he'd been having. Because basically his whole premise was the fact that it's like, if you're having a shitty day and you go in and you have to review this movie, there is a very good chance that you're going to give it a shittier review than you would normally.
Yeah.
Conversely, if you've just had like the best day of your life and now you're going in to watch a movie, instantly you are in a better mood, and therefore you're going to see the best things in that movie and you're not going to see the bad things in the movie. So his whole thing was he would tell everyone kind of like what day he'd been having.
I think that's true to a point. Because I was looking forward to and super excited about watching Skinamarink. Because I thought the promo I saw was great.
I was hoping
the
the next Blair Witch.
I know
you guys don't like it, but
I had higher hopes than that.
I was not hoping it was going to be the next Blair Witch.
But I was super excited about it and jazzed when the movie started. I thought, this is going to be great. And then it just kept going and going to where I was like, waiting for something to happen, and nothing ever fucking happens.
Yeah, that's the...
But I agree to a certain point, though. I agree that if you go into a movie excited, you're going to love the good parts of the movie and forget the rest. And that may be tons of these movies. That may be all of this.
Right, and it's like, I think... I don't know whether we said it in the episode, because I think this actually happened afterwards. I think they're probably, in the movie's defense, in Skinamarink's defense, I think it probably would have been a slightly different movie if we'd seen it in a cinema, in the movie theater.
I honestly don't feel like it would have.
I don't know. I don't know.
So you're thinking, like, do you think maybe you would have fed off the crowd a little more?
I think you would have fed off the sounds a little bit more.
I could see that.
More immersive.
So
right.
To me, if that had been in like Dolby Atmos, that might make sense, right?
Because you're...
Because Atmos is, 62 fucking speakers? I
but
mean,
would it really do that much of a difference? Would it really make that much of a difference?
So I think also it's one of these things where...
Or if something like tickled my asshole while that's where I'm going.
Wow.
They call it Stinkamarink anyway.
but in other words, and I think, the reality of the fact is The reason why I hate going to movie theaters is because everyone fucking talks all the time and is using their phones and
See, now
and all that kind of stuff.
That's the other downside of why I understand why people watch movies at home. And why people pirate and do all that other stuff is I don't want to go to the theater anymore, because even if I go to a theater and I see, hey, there's 15 of us in here, 5 of those people might be fucking assholes and just be like, oh, you know what? I'm going to sit on my phone, flip it open, and just sit here and, flip phone.
Right.
I'm dating myself. But, yeah, bright screen and just,
dialing numbers.
Hey, yeah. Fucking, there'd be some asshole with the radio. Anyway, no, but, like, that's my biggest pet peeve of going to the theater is I'm like.
I agree.
And especially if it's a new release. I will try to see a movie at 3:00 in the afternoon because fucking kids aren't going to it.
Sure,
right?
sure,
they're waiting until later at night. It was dark and all that. Fuck yeah, but and I don't like that. I want to. I fed off of going to see a movie and people laughing and having a good time while watching the movie, not people going, oh, wait, hold on. I'm going to see a movie. Look at me. Oh, this is the scary part. It's, come on. Watch the fucking movie.
Agreed.
Pay attention.
Just because it's pitch black and somebody's on their phone and the whole thing lights up around them and they're
it distracts.
hey, Betty, how are you? Yeah. Oh, I've been doing good. What's going on with your boyfriend?
What do you want?
And,
You're at a mall. You're
and
at a
even the
fucking
people
movie.
that like turn the brightness down because they think that somehow that's going to make it invisible.
Yeah, it's like,
Right.
I don't know.
It's like, no, it's still distracting.
Yeah.
Did you ever go to a movie where a guy or girl, anybody, picks up the phone and has a conversation on the phone?
Yes.
Plenty.
Can you believe that shit?
Yeah.
I had a guy almost fight me because of it.
You're in a
I
fucking
literally
movie
turned to him and
theater.
said, walk out. I'm on the phone. I understand. I'm
That's
watching a
why
movie. Get the
I want
hell
you to get out.
I literally yelled at him. I said, get the hell out. And everybody clapped. But it was one of those things where I'm like, how is that, I'm
Right.
not being disrespectful to you. You're being disrespectful to
Right.
90% of
But
this
think about
fucking
that.
audience.
That they were surprised that you were upset that they were on the phone.
Exactly.
Right,
It's
right,
like,
right.
that's selfishness. Like, get off your damn phone. Like,
And that's the problem
I
is
need an escape. That's my only fucking escape.
Now,
Get the fuck
now,
out of here.
now we're sounding like old men.
I don't care.
Get off my lawn.
But I guarantee you there's a good portion of our audience that's probably like, fuck yeah. Like,
Yeah.
the whole point is I worked all fucking week, or even kids go to school all fucking week, right? And the whole point of a movie is escapism. We want to move away from, hey, I just fucking want to sit down, move into a different reality. If it scares the shit out of me, great. If it doesn't, I find what didn't, and then.
But the difference is like when you go to, because the thing is when you watch it, or at least it used to be so much, when you were at home, you got a smaller screen, not surround sound. Some people, they get whatever. But you
Depending
go to a
on how
movie
rich you are.
theater, it's dark. The screen is your whole world.
Yeah.
The audio's everywhere. You got that immersive experience, right? That's why even now theaters just go bigger and bigger screens,
Right.
bigger and bigger sound, because that's the difference. But now even at home, people have 55-inch TVs at a minimum, right? So now you get your own you turn off all the lights, and people have surround sound at home. And now you're coming close to a movie theater experience without the little shitheads.
right.
Yep.
So I could see why people want to see it more at home. But that's why, but still, you go to the IMAX, you go to the big screens, you go to the ones with the reclining seats and the heated seats and bring you a beer. That's
Well,
a good,
and I
that's a good
agree
experience.
with what Warwick was saying earlier. Maybe we would have had a different outcome. It might not have been too much better than what we had. But if we had gone and seen that in the theaters, maybe we would have fed off of the people that were there and the younger.
But there were
crowd,
no ooh and ah.
Well,
times at that
no.
movie.
But there's still like if somebody now. I also feel like when I see somebody jump for something that I'm like, Jesus, you didn't see that coming.
Right.
I can kind of I see a lot of that stuff ahead of time. But I do feel like that if you have that camaraderie of the entire group, right? Like,
Yeah.
you get that feeling when you're all on the same page. And this is where you guys don't agree with me with the Blair Witch, but when I was watching that movie in theaters, it was only in like 15 theaters throughout the U.S. at that point. Everybody in that audience was invested in that movie, and I think that's what added to it.
I agree. I agree with that.
And that's the thing is, that was before like the whole bonanza of it's true life and all that stuff. That was before all of that stuff really happened. Like that I think kind of added to it later on, but I think that also detracted from it. Like a lot of people probably said it's not fucking fucking real, and I knew it wasn't real when I went to go see it, but by the end of that movie, literally nobody said anything. Everybody just got up and left. And I rarely see that in a movie. Usually somebody bitches about, what the fuck was that? And then get up and
I can see that happening. I just don't think that would have happened with Skinamarink.
It may have with the younger crowd, right? They're the ones that supposedly, but that's where I like you mentioned, the influencers may have been the ones that caused that sensation of, Joe Blow, whatever the fuck his name is, Marshmallow or whoever is a famous influencer may have caused me to go, oh yeah, that was really scary.
Well, and that's part of what I was going to say as well. It's like it's a little bit of Emperor's New Clothes, right? It's that whole thing.
Totally agree.
If you leave the movie going like, I didn't like it, like you're afraid that your friends are going to go, what do you mean it was the best movie ever? It's like oh yeah no you're right, I really liked it. But
that's where I feel like we would stick our ground, right? Like I know I like something, I'm
because we're old and curmudgeon-y.
Yeah, but we also understand we see through the bullshit, right?
Yeah, I'm not going to say I like something just because everyone else says they like it.
But now that's where I think, like you mentioned, the marketing on Skinamarink, they did that on purpose because now you might not have liked it, but you fucking saw it. Like,
right.
You know what I mean?
It
Like
worked.
That was all they cared about.
It worked.
Get people in there. It may have been 3-4 weeks, maybe a month.
It worked.
In their case, what ended up happening, I feel like, was they kind of got the effect of some people saw it, said it was scary, then other people saw it, and that build up of over time, it may have been 2 months that they got, but that could have been $200 million for a $60,000 movie or whatever it ended up being.
But I do think
you're right.
Yeah, I mean,
it's a dollars game, which is fucking ridiculous. Make a fucking movie for the sake of making a movie.
But this isn't that.
No.
This is somebody who made a movie, and they're like showed it to the producer, and they're like, well, we just wasted our money on this fucking guy.
How can we?
How can we turn this a profit?
Sure.
I know. Let's get the marketers
some people
involved
feel like
and
that,
do
though.
some major advertising.
You know this. Some people feel that way about David Lynch. Like they watch something. What the fuck did I just see?
Yeah.
But, and I had a girlfriend at one point that we went and saw Mulholland Drive in the theaters, and I left there going, just smiling, not saying a damn word. And she, as soon as the movie ended, that's the dumbest thing I've ever seen. Okay, and I said, well...
By the way, we're breaking up, hon.
Yeah. And I said, well, I said to her, well, just an FYI, I said, his goal is not for you to love the movie as soon as it's done and over. There's no real beginning, middle, and end. It's more of, he wants you to talk about it beyond seeing it in the theaters. Shit, you're not. 2 minutes later, walking out to the car. What do you think he meant by this scene?
See? Sure.
And I looked at her and I just started laughing. She goes, what? I said, that's exactly what he wants. He wants you to talk about a film, there's not just a beginning, middle, and end. And I feel like horror is kind of trying to get back to that with some of the A24 stuff, with like Hereditary.
Some of them.
They think that by being people talking about it on social media that, it's going to, it's keeping life, and stuff like that. But I feel like social media is also very ADD. So if you don't get that, you get that initial train of people going through it saying, now we've just made 40, 50, 60, $100 million.
Right.
And then nothing after that. The guy comes out with a Hereditary 2, just throwing it out there. Hereditary 2, nobody's going to fucking watch that movie, right?
Right.
And I think that's what's going to happen with some of these movies until something sticks. And so what have they started to try to do? The whole thing is, let's revamp Halloween. Let's revamp Exorcist. Let's see how well that worked out.
Because they know that, we can't get anything good ourselves. Let's redo something that's already had success.
Yep. Yeah. And see if
play off of that.
Yeah. And I don't think we're there yet. No. I really hope some new director, some young and up and coming director, something comes out with something. I mean, I've seen short
It'll
films.
happen. It'll happen.
Yeah, because I mean, even if you look at like things like Terrifier, it's in reality
good example
that there's not really anything in that movie that you couldn't point to 20 other movies that like, that movie did the same thing and that movie did the same thing,
or something very similar.
But somehow he was able to bring that character and that storyline together. You said it earlier. It's like, really, it's a stupid fucking story. I mean, it's like it doesn't really make any sense. Like
really not much of a story.
It
at
isn't
all.
really a story. It's basically a scene, that develops.
But that's a good director that can take that and keep it going enough
Totally
make
agree.
the entire movie.
Totally agree.
Right. Well, and
That's
as we've
the
said
point.
so many times before, and we said it on the episode for Terrifier, go watch it. That movie was made by, obviously, but made by Art the Clown. Like and his mannerisms and the way he acted when he's making the kills, and I'm sure that was a collaboration between Damien and David.
But that's sort of the point too, by the way, is that it wasn't. There was somebody else playing Art the Clown in the original,
Originally, yes,
right? And he didn't do it as
You
well.
got to find that formula.
There's a formula to it. A formula in the fact that
I say formula. I shouldn't say formula because
there's a magic combination.
I feel like what they should be shooting for right now is make a movie that's a single movie that's good. Stop going into it with movies that are, well, I want to have a trilogy of this. You know what I mean? Like, I think that's what a lot of Hollywood's looking for.
You know
I don't
what?
blame the directors because a lot of times they can, you can add on shit, but everything's a trilogy now.
I think any smart director can come up with a original story that's a simple story, beginning, middle, end, and leave it as is. But the smart director has in mind, how do I make that into a trilogy if I need to?
Correct.
Because if it is successful, he should know that they're going to say, we need a part 2. We need a part 3.
Kind of like how Walking Dead was, right? Like the first few seasons,
Outstanding.
There was, yeah. And then they started, I think there was the whole thing of, well, we're going to fire all the writers and bring in new writers because it was cheaper. And then look what happened. It kind of went downhill. Granted, it still ends up, 9 seasons, something like that. 9, 10
Yeah,
seasons.
but it started
But
dying after season
Everybody I talked to,
second
they're
or
like,
seven.
after season 3, it was sucked.
Well, 7 maybe, but
but they still watched. So
I didn't.
Yeah, like we still haven't seen the last 2 seasons.
Yeah, same here.
I've only seen up to season 3, I think.
Really?
Yeah,
Never seen beyond it.
I think we made
That
it
was
up.
a whole thing. Like I was moving, I didn't really, and then I didn't have cable, and so I just fell out of it. But
It was a great show. I mean, like
Great show.
Even some of like the when they're in the prison and where it became like just like almost like a soap opera.
was that
Day-
women in
day-
prison? Oh no,
yeah,
that was
yeah.
women in SS.
Where you had multiple episodes that were just like
We didn't go anywhere.
we didn't
didn't
go
get
anywhere.
yeah.
There was no zombies. There was
Right. There was
nothing
something
really
with no zombies. That was the start of the downfall.
that happened. But you'd still have every now and then like some good episodes and stuff like that.
Yeah.
And then
Agreed.
you had the classics of the Governor and seasons like that. But
You said governor. I was waiting for you. Governor.
Governor.
There you go.
But
He's not from southern London.
Yeah.
But the point is just, it's like, when you start getting into, like when Rick died. And when,
But he didn't really, though.
spoiler.
Oh,
I have not
sorry.
seen beyond season 2, so I assumed he died. But
you said season 3 you've seen.
no, I've seen up to season 3.
That means not.
That means nothing. You've seen nothing.
Yeah. Anyway.
We've really digressed.
Yeah.
That's all right.
Because now we're talking about a TV show.
Anyway, so
This is kind of how things go. But
a movie.
Agreed.
Well, I didn't answer mine. Like, mine isn't a horror movie, but there's a movie that I saw that I thought was excellent. It's called Polar.
But it's not a horror movie.
No, but that was the only one that
You know what this show's about. Have you seen the show?
Yeah.
Have you seen our show?
I don't watch any of these shows.
Okay,
Is
it's
it
like
like
if you would have come up and
thriller-ish,
said,
It's a thriller.
Okay.
So
if you would have
basically,
come up and
it's
said,
Ma-
I got this wonderful gin I want you to
it's
try.
Yeah.
It's Mads Mikkelsen.
oh,
What?
Mads Mikkelsen.
What?
he's from
He's from like the Hannibal
the
guy,
Hannibal series.
Show me a picture.
Oh, you
yeah,
know him.
yeah, that
And
guy.
I
Yeah,
think he
yeah,
was-
okay.
and he was in
Heavily
obviously,
German face.
Casino Royale.
Yeah, Casino Royale.
But basically, he plays a hitman that's trying to retire, and it's that classic kind of like he has to kind of like come back and
Sounds similar
it's
to
just
a Serbian film, but just instead of
Without the porn
the porn and the baby killing and baby fucking.
and the baby fucking. If you
But anyway,
haven't seen Serbian
MVP,
film, I think we
newborn
need to do. I think we need to do Salo too. I think one of these
You're
days
gonna make me watch that.
we have to do Salo.
I've seen that. Once.
You haven't seen it yet?
No, I've seen it once.
Oh, okay.
Yeah,
All right.
That was one that I swore I'd never see again, but
Oh,
for
yeah.
the podcast.
All
I will
right,
do
so
it.
Salo.
The problem is it's basically
I've had a physical
it's
reaction.
a
from that
glorified
Sure.
art film. In other words, it's
Well,
like
glorified is a
I'm
little
like-
bit of a strong
I'm having
word, but
flashbacks.
of all the shit.
Yes, the fucking dinner. The dinner scene.
Okay, we have to review that.
Anyway, we're at an hour and 45 minutes.
Yeah.
Holy
we should stop.
shit. Should we split this
This is
into
how
2
things
episodes?
used to go. I mean, we would sit here. God, that one night it was literally like 6 hours. I think we started at like 6 or 7 o'clock, and we were like done at 2.
Yeah.
It was insane. But
Technically, we've been here for
we've been
a
here.
while.
You guys.
Well,
have
we
only
also
been
had
here.
film. We also had cameras to set up and lighting to set up, and we had 2 sets:
Yes.
and pizzas to make.
pizzas,
But
bourbon to
things.
pull out.
either way, it's been a fun year. I've had a blast. I've learned a shit ton about bourbons that I never thought I would.
And scotch.
And scotch and
I'm gonna make you a
fucking
scotch
Irish
man.
whiskeys.
I'm gonna make you a
guys are
scotch guy.
fans of those.
I've learned. I've learned a lot about Irish whiskeys myself.
So and movies. I mean, there's just been it's been a fun year. I'm very happy that we've done this, and I can't wait to see what we do next year. And I'm excited for the next season, if you will, of our.
Tell me what was the one thing that you loved learning the most, movie or whiskey?
Honestly, the whiskey side. I didn't know much about this stuff to begin with, and I just told you recently I had tried an Elvis. They called it Midnight Snack, which was peanut butter and bacon. And
It basically said vomit on the label, and you still drank it.
I'm a very sugary person, and I drank that and was like, holy shit. But the funny thing is if I had drank that probably a year ago, I would have been like, oh my God, this is the best thing ever.
Because it was all sugary and
it was
sweet.
all sugar. So my palate has changed. So
all right.
And honestly, this has probably saved me a shit ton of money, because otherwise I would have been buying whiskeys that I thought were truly good whiskeys that weren't. I mean, I would never have stumbled upon Voyage. I think you gave us the first Voyage, right?
Yes.
Yeah. So,
Yep.
I mean, that's Jefferson's Voyage. I mean, it's just the movie stuff. That's always going to change, right? I mean, I feel like our tastes are going to grow, and
And we were all basically horror fans before.
Yeah.
Right.
So
and we're all kind of different horror. I mean, you like J horror. I mean, you and I are kind of on the same level of David Lynch, kind of weird, kind of horror.
I still like Lynch.
and he likes Lynch too. But it's one of those things where I feel like we're always adapting to everybody's saying Skinner, great this thing, and we watched it, and honestly, I went into it with a very open mind because I had very high hopes for it. But
Same here.
yeah.
What about you?
Well, stuff I learned this year.
One of your favorite things that you learned. One of
It's
the more impactful.
It's
things
gonna
that you
sound really soppy, but it's like I just love the three of us getting together and doing this shit. It's
Well, now I
That's
feel like
viable.
an asshole.
That's viable. Just because Logan's too much of a dick to mention something like
A
that.
selfish prick because I learned about bourbon.
no, I mean seriously, it gives us a kind of, let's say, forced excuse to hang out for a few hours.
Sure.
Obviously, as is evident by the fact that we haven't put an episode out for the last 3 weeks.
Yeah. Sorry about
Well,
that.
that's what's funny is I was itching. Like it's like we gotta do this. Like
Yeah.
I think we all were that way. It's just obviously
Schedules.
times and schedules. And
Not
things.
just that, but I mean, we went on vacation, then we got sick for 2 weeks, and it was just a cavalcade of errors
Right.
that just kept us from putting out content. And we apologize, and we'll be doing better.
But again, and we want to do live events.
We got to get back to that.
Yeah,
Those are so much fun.
That's so much fun.
But so it's I mean, I said it is the highlight of my week when we get to do this, and that's why again we've said it so many times through the podcast, but that's why it's like obviously with 66 subscribers, it's not like we're making any money out of this.
Honestly, I'm just happy with the 66.
Yeah.
More than I thought we'd have.
Yeah.
And so
We'd be laughing about how we had 2 subscribers, and it's just something fun that we like to do.
yeah, and that's the whole
I'm
thing.
appreciative of having that.
Yeah.
66 people is pretty damn good.
No shit.
I agree.
Yeah.
But anyway, so that's it. That's it for me. I mean, I said it's like I do want to, as we said, I do want to do the live events again. It's like I really like having all the people in the crowd and
That's
the kind of the interaction.
That's the goal.
Like this is great. Obviously, us talking.
But we feed off of the crowd too,
right?
I mean, it's fun to listen to them laugh. I mean,
except
there's
for
stuff
Kyle.
where we say stuff,
Except for
and
Kyle,
we laugh at it,
asshole.
but then it's like even more fun to hear.
We love you, Kyle.
Yeah, so.
It is a good time. That's something I look forward to as well. We got to do more of that kind of stuff. For me, it's been experimenting in whiskeys and bourbons that I also have not tried because, honestly, I go out and I'll buy a bottle every now and once in a while, and I haven't tried that. Let me try that. Or go over to visit a cousin or a friend who's big into bourbons, and they'll say, hey, have you tried this? And it's such a slow pace with that kind of stuff. I think my education on bourbons and scotch and whiskey in general has skyrocketed just because of all the different brands we've tried. I think aside from the the sappy British guy over here, I think it's been great talking about movies because I love to do that every day, every week if I could. But when you throw some of this bourbon in the mix, it's been fun. Sure. I enjoy talking about movies, and I love getting into debates about movies, but trying all these different things and picking out what we like and don't like out of different things and finding one that you love and I hate or vice versa, it's just, that's what makes this show, to me, exciting to do. Right? And I'm hoping it translates to exciting to watch.
When we're all on the same page for either a movie or a bourbon. I mean, we might be all on the same page for a bourbon and hate the fucking movie, but it's just one of those where, you bring something where I'm like, what the hell is this? I've never even heard of it. I mean, case in point was, I think, did we like the
we did.
Burning
We
Chair?
all like Burning Chair, yeah.
Was,
We all like Burning Chair.
Did pretty well.
Yeah, it's one of those things.
3.1.
No, granted, and then you run into chainsaws. I think that was one of
Red Saw.
Red Saw.
Red
That's
Saw.
what it was. Red Saw, sorry.
Red Saw.
I
don't know. I should have pulled out that one. Don't we still have it?
Did we finish the Wolf Point?
Is that
It's
at
at
the
the
Oh, no,
stores.
I've got Wolf Point.
It's at the
Wolf
stores.
Point should
You
be
didn't
out
even
here.
Bring Wolf Point on?
Yeah, it's right there in front of you.
No.
Isn't that it?
What?
Yeah, isn't that Wolf Point? There you go.
We might finish
There you
that
go.
later. But
What was the Wolf Point one?
Wolf Point was it's Chicago made.
That was. Did we? What did
We
do
all
for?
rated that pretty well because it was one that grew. Warwick rated it low and then brought it up.
Yeah.
Because the more we drank it, the better it got.
Yeah.
You don't see it?
I don't see it on the list.
You don't see Wolf Point on the list?
I remember. I don't remember what movie we did.
It was the Amanda Siegfried Lloyd one.
the Red Riding Hood.
Red Riding Hood.
Oh, you sure? That was recent-ish.
I'm starting to understand that this list is not really researched correctly.
Oh, Wolf Point. Here you go. No, it's
There we go.
It's it. I just couldn't read.
Of course not. And Wolf Point did what?
Overall was 2.8.
Oh.
That's it?
Long gave it a 3.2. Logan gave it a 3. I gave it a 2.3.
Oh, that's
so
why.
You brought it down.
Because you fucked it up. And then I remember you changing that because you liked it after a while.
But
You're like, this is growing on me.
But he's like,
Did I actually
You
say?
did. You said, this is growing on me.
Was that like Oliver
it was
Twist?
like- it
Please,
was-
sir, can I have some more?
It says really growing on me. I'm pretty sure that's what you said.
oh my god.
It does. It does sound like me. You are correct.
Maybe that's why I didn't realize what you said. Maybe I got confused.
Anyway,
No, either way, it's been a fun hell of a year.
it's been a fun ride.
It's
Yeah.
Well, the sad thing is it went by fucking fast.
It
I don't know
did.
about you guys, but
It
Jesus.
did.
Did you work out when we started?
February.
Yeah.
February.
I'm gonna say like
So-
February. Did we start with Valentine's?
No,
My Bloody
no.
Valentine?
It was
No.
the
Pontypool was the
Pontypool
first
was
one.
the first one.
We haven't even done My Bloody Valentine's.
Yeah,
Jesus.
yeah. But we didn't theme it back then. We just said, well, what's the movie we want to start with? Oh, and I was like, oh, I love Pontypool. Let's do Pontypool.
Yeah.
And we talked so long, we're like, all right, let's just cut it into 2 episodes,
Yeah.
which we may do with this episode because it's 2 hours
we're almost
long.
2 hours. So we'll do part 2.
Anyway,
So
do we have anything else to say?
I think we're good, man. Listen, thank you for watching.
Good.
Thank you
Thank
for
you
watching for the year. For
Yes,
those of you who have
totally.
seen all the episodes or most of the episodes or let's just say a good portion
Or
of the
even
episodes.
watched all the whiskey portions. Bourbon?
Whatever you've watched, we appreciate it. We hope you keep watching some more. Please let us know what you like and don't like about the show. We're good with
And
negative
suggestions.
whatever. We love suggestions. You give us enough movies. We did one with Kyle. Fucking Kyle. We did a whole show based on what he suggested.
And he didn't show up.
And we've had other
So that's
people who've
what he's
recommended movies to watch, their favorite movie. Julie recommended a movie to watch.
Yep.
We love it. We'll watch it. We're good that way.
Yes.
So let us know what you want to watch. Let us know what you want us to review. You are the ones who help guide this channel. We're the ones who maybe, you can even tell us what bourbon you want us to pair with what movie. We'll try it. We'll tell you if you're right
If we
or
can
wrong.
get it.
Oh, we'll find it.
If it's Pappy.
Oh, okay. Well, fuck that then. But
Within reason.
within reason.
Unless you want to buy it for
I was
us.
to say, yeah, we're more than willing to take gifts.
So, and we do want to do some more location shots. I think we do want to talk to a couple of distributors. We talk to a couple distillers.
Sure.
And get in on that because I think that'll be a great, fun time.
Absolutely.
So more to come. We have plans. We have big plans for a lot of different kind of episodes coming up. We just need you to come follow with us.
Yep. Come join us.
Come fly with us.
Okay.
Anyway,
All right. Like, subscribe,
Slappy.
hit that button.
I'm getting slappy. I mean, slap happy.
I'm about to slap a bitch.
I'm going to smack my bitch up.
Thanks for coming. Hopefully you stuck around for both these episodes, which it might strip into two if you saw it and it was one whole episode. God bless you for watching the whole thing.
Yeah.
Keep in tune. Keep in tune.
Yeah, keep in touch.
Keep in touch. Stay tuned.
There you go.
Watch more. You'll see what we got coming up for this year. 2024 is going to be a good year.
Absolutely. Social media stuff is
Social
going to
media?
go somewhere over
here?
our faces at this point.
You bet. It covers Logan all the time. The
yeah.
whole big
Coincidence?
circle.
No,
that was
no,
that
it's
was
not a
planned.
coincidence.
And thanks for watching.
Thank you.
Love you guys.
Done for the
Okay.
year.
157 exact.
Oh my God.
All right.
Go on,
Was it record again?
hit the stop button.
What?
Did somebody not
Hit the stop button.